What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4120. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is a random question. Your guess is as good as my category, staycations and foodies. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack, clack. All right, here we go to Texas, where Optimus Prime is arrested after stealing a car. Meanwhile, a doctor named Muhammad Ali saves a shark bite victim, then wanted to spar, but I did. Montana couple builds new home for only $20,000 in cash. A bull at a rodeo in Oregon makes a mad dash. And a server shocked to find a man's date for dinner was a blow-up doll. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I may not stick around for a band's encore, but I don't usually leave mid-show. And as a musician who plays on occasion, I would not walk out before our own show before it's over. But comedian George Lopez, he feels differently. Last Friday, Lopez was performing a sold-out show and left the stage 30 minutes early because he was unhappy. But look, that's nothing new. Pete Davidson walked off stage about 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, in Georgia, a congressional candidate stormed off stage during a debate because he didn't like the other candidate's position, which is quite literally why it's called a debate and not an agreement. Either way, he left. But whatever, even if you're the main event for an evening and you walk out or storm off, it doesn't usually end up injuring people. But most of the time, the star storming off isn't a full-grown rodeo bull. We go to Oregon, where on a Saturday night, a bull ran around the arena for a few laps before hopping over the fence into the crowd, kicking a few asses, and then finally being wrangled in the parking lot, where I assume he was waiting for an Uber. But you're at a rodeo, so there's always that chance. You know the risk. Now, a guy in Indonesia, he's just at work, spraying weeds. He was mauled by a tiger. Not a bull, but a tiger. Now, they did not find the tiger, but they did find most of the victim. Most of them. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With an American Standard heat pump system, the future of heating and cooling your home is already here. Bringing constant comfort to your home, American Standard heat pumps are energy efficient, reliable, and ready for tomorrow, today. Plus, making the upgrade from your traditional furnace or AC unit is easier than ever before with home energy offers, rebates, and tax credits. Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification. American Standard, built to a higher standard.
I really think a lot of it is just honing in on what your natural interests are, starting small with that too in a more realistic capacity, and then just growing from there. And your passions will lead you.
Ooh, okay, wait a second.
Right? There you go. Soundbite.
Yes, that was good. Okay, we're going to grab that.
Dental Soundbites, created for dentists by dentists.
Do things that make you happy. And that's my drop the mic moment.
I love that.
Dental Soundbites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Charles, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4120. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. Hot off the presses. We have a couple of new surveys out. We have the best and worst U.S. cities for staycations.
Steakhouse. All right.
So if you're looking to save some money and you happen to be near one of these major metropolitan areas, a good chance that you could go there, have a very enjoyable time, and hopefully a lot of attractions at a decently affordable price.
But isn't a staycation the fact that you already live, at least in a municipality of these cities?
That is correct. You're taking advantage of what is around you.
And it's not like I'm trying to save money. It just means I don't have the money to do the other thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know
what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, you're staying home for a week? Like, well, yeah, not because I want to.
In our area, within a couple hours, you can be in Victoria, British Columbia. You can be in Vancouver. You can be in Portland, Oregon. So, you can still be close and do a staycation. One of the things they did say last week, just a little hint here, if you take that category, Seattle is the most expensive city out of all the U.S. cities to visit and to have a vacation.
And one of them to live in, yeah, for sure.
Think about that for a minute. It gets no more expensive than Seattle. You want to go to New York?
Yay.
Cheaper. You want to go to Chicago? Cheaper. L.A. cheaper. San Francisco.
Is that news
San
to
Jose.
anyone
Cheaper. San
who lives
Diego.
here?
Cheaper.
No.
All
it's ridiculously
Orlando,
expensive.
cheaper. Miami, cheaper. But they looked at a number of metrics, including things to do, maybe having some amusement parks, the restaurant cost, spas, massage parlors, summer weather, and a bunch of other things. So if you're looking to do a little staycation this summer, we have the best and worst cities for staycations. Some of the worst include Fremont, California is the worst place.
Does that always come in poorly, or does it? I feel like Fremont, California, sometimes it's real high on the
It's
list.
always on the bad list.
Okay, but it's
What's the one that's always on the good? There's another place in California. It always ends up being on the good list, but it's not. Is it Irvine or Irvin or something?
Sometimes Riverside gets a negative rap. I don't get it though. Fremont is in between San Jose, which is a very expensive city, and Oakland. I can't imagine. You're still in the Bay Area, so I don't know.
It's not like Oakland's great.
I know.
So it doesn't mean it's awesome. It just means it's expensive.
Right. You're still near some decent stuff. Pearl City, Hawaii.
Of course.
Shows up once again. Yonkers, New York.
Yonkers.
You ever been to Yonkers?
I don't know nobody out in Yonkers.
If you went to Yonkers, you'd understand why that is right there on the list.
Laredo, Texas, horrible place for a staycation, as well as Santa Ana, California. It's amazing how many places are in California at the very bottom of the list when you consider all the other towns that could rank right up there, like Huntington, West Virginia, or Steubenville, Ohio.
But I think it's expectation.
Toledo, Ohio.
But also, you got to. I think sometimes when you read those lists, like just because it's California doesn't mean it's nice.
No, not at all.
It's a huge state. Yeah, that's a fact. Then we have the best season for foodies. As they say, if you are a foodie, you already know this, but I did not know this. Apparently, if you're a foodie, the best season is, in fact, the summer.
Well, sure.
So for foodies...
Why do you say sure?
Heirloom tomatoes, seafood.
You're saying the ingredients available.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So it just feels like summer would naturally be the best time for a foodie.
All right. So they did a list of the 15 best states for foodies to travel to. So this list is cities. This list is states based on the number of best food cities, average cost of food at a restaurant, number of James Beard nominations, the local farmers markets per capita. By the way, Seattle individually as a city does pretty well on a lot of these things. It's just the cost. Now, keep in mind, on this list, it's all about states. So you can think about the states that have some maybe the better food you've had, and that is the category. So we have the best states for foodies and the best
for foodies.
Yeah.
For footy. Those are tough, too, because, like, I don't know, some people that are foodies, like, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's better. Like, maybe you want to go to...
Yep.
Right? Maybe you want to go to Chicago and just eat, whatever the famous Vienna beef hot dogs and Italian beef.
Yep.
Sometimes the foodie could be like, I just want some trashy food.
I'm convinced that foodies, to me, are people that want to spend a lot of money on food, tell you about the food experience, have the food be presented in a beautiful way, but don't necessarily have any freaking idea what they're talking about with regard to actual food.
Now, that's my number one rule. If I'm traveling, I don't want to go to an expensive restaurant. I want to go to the restaurant that people go to.
Right.
Where you can sit at the bar.
Where you've been in business for 150 years because it's good.
Yeah, whatever they do right. It's no frills. It's just, look, there's places like that in Seattle. You want a good fish sandwich? You go to the Pacific Inn. It's been there for forever. I'm not saying there's not better fish sandwiches.
I haven't found one.
Great one in Fremont called Local Tide. They are out there, but they're not one of those places where you need to wear a tie or you need to dress up or you need to look at your food and go, is that it?
Is that the entire portion?
3 scallops and some goo underneath it? Like, no.
By the way, you pointed out, you said Laredo, Texas finished low on one of the lists. Someone here says, I had to stay in Laredo, Texas for 1 day. 1 day for work. And it was single-handedly the worst experience of my life.
Okay.
Damn.
Miles, to back up your point, like when I was on Cape Cod a couple weeks ago in Sandwich, a place called Seafood Sam's. It's one of those.
Perfect.
Right? There's a huge line. There's a giant board. You order whatever you want. I got a lobster roll and fried clam strips.
All right.
And there's a little bar, but it's same thing. Shorts, T-shirts, and then you just sit on the deck. Your thing goes off. You go get your food.
And your mouth is happy.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's the old thing. I just want my mouth to be happy.
You can spill something on your shirt and not feel like a turd.
Not only that, the condiments. Pick them out yourself. I had more tartar sauce than I knew what to do with.
The one that ticked me off probably about 10 years ago in the Seattle area, they had this great idea where they would have, 4 tables in a restaurant. But each one of those 4 tables would seat like 16 people.
So,
if you
the social seating.
Yeah, if you're just two people, you could feasibly be at a table with like 14 other people on a first date. No, I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the world.
It depends where you are.
When you're at a sit-down foo-foo restaurant, to me, I was just like, this is kind of weird.
If it's a food,
weird.
If it's a restaurant like that, I don't want to sit there. If it's a beer hall, I get it.
No problem.
A little more camaraderie is the
And
difference.
also, it depends on how many people are in there. Because if it's not that crowded, I don't want a random couple dudes just sitting next to me and my buddy.
But if I'm getting a big ass beer and a pretzel or a hot dog or something like that, it makes perfect sense.
But people's attitude's different.
But not when I'm ordering a $50 dinner.
That's my problem with the freaking Japanese steakhouses, man. Like, the kids love them, so we take them there because they like all the show. The food is always, meh. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not anything, right? But you're sitting there with like 15 other people, and I'm like, look, man, I just want to eat food. I don't want to catch a shrimp in my mouth in front of 20 other people. Can I just eat? By the way, the answer to that is no.
Correct.
No. And even if you tell the guy, like, do not fling that shrimp to me, I'm really not. It's already midair. You're like, okay.
Here it goes.
There it is.
Right. I had never been to one of my buddies. You remember my buddy Josh?
Yeah.
But, like, he grew up in the next county over. They had a little more money than we did. So they were going to go to a Benihana, which, if you've never
the
been.
McDonald's of a steakhouse.
But if you've never been, it seems super high class, this and that. And his mother specifically, who's wearing a white cashmere sweater, goes, I do not put butter on my shrimp. That dude puts a huge hunk of butter on it, flips it, lands right on the sweater.
Ooh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So we've got some foodie states and some cities for staycations coming up with your guess as good as mine. Updated locations. Thanks for sending those in over the weekend. If you tried the brand new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing, got a chance to taste it either on draft or you picked some up in a 6-pack, we encourage you to take a picture for us, send that into the men's room at KISW.com, and we will continue to update that list. The list of everything we know so far is at KISW.com if you're looking for the beer in your area. But either way, speaking of the beer, we have an announcement coming up at 4:30 today about the Men's Room World Tour and our next stop, which will be Saturday the 22nd.
Are you going to remember?
I am going to remember to do the announcement.
Dollar bet?
Coming up at 4:30. Dollar bet.
All right.
Dollar bet on that.
That's too easy, because that's like...
Why is that so easy? We do 4:20 every day.
But this is 4:30.
I know.
Yeah, it's 4:30. It's a different time.
Different time.
He's almost done with emails. He's thinking about the next segment coming up. 4:30 is an easy time for the man.
Also, if we typically ever get stoned on the show, it's probably a Thursday or a Friday. So
for sure.
It's not going to happen today. If I'm going to miss, it's going to be a Thursday.
Wait a minute. I wasn't supposed to get stoned?
No, not today. Thursday, Friday.
Come on, man.
Thursday,
Monday.
Friday. We're cruising into the weekend. No big deal. No one's here.
It's Thursday in my head, man.
No one knows. All that stuff. Announcement 4:30. Also, we've never been to this town before. Never had an event there. I mean, I've been there personally, but years ago.
Right, not as a show.
But we've been
Correct.
obviously been to Tacoma a number of times. We've been to Everett a number of times. Bremerton for the first time last year. But this is a new stop for us, so we're pretty excited. This is a cool place. So we'll have an announcement coming up at 4:30.
And I'm hoping VD is still here so we can tell the embarrassing story about our friend taking a horrible poop there.
Oh, yeah, God. You didn't hear this?
No.
Oh, my God. I laughed. I wasn't there, but Ted was retelling the story
At
last
this
week to me
place?
and Mike. Yeah. And me and Mike lost it. It's stupid, but it's funny.
It's awesome.
All right.
I mean, I know this bar. I have frequented, and it's just just one of those, early afternoons, not a lot of people in there.
I figured it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, no. All right. Okay. Announcement coming up on the Men's Room World Tour for you at 4:30 this afternoon. And today is the day that we do our random question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, you old stale breadsticks.
Hola,
Alex.
Alex, welcome to the program. And the random question. All right, let's go with this one. Alex, have you ever crashed a vehicle? Have you ever crashed any type of motorcycle, car?
No, but I am a pilot, and I texted you guys an incident I had with my plane one time. Care to share that story?
Sure. Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
I was doing some flight training back in I think 2016 or 17, and my engine just failed. Luckily, I was at 6,000 plus feet.
Yes, luckily. That's a safe distance to plummet to the earth.
Yeah, but I was able to land it into a small field, into a small airfield, a grass runway.
All right. So you did actually find a runway to put it back down.
I did, yes.
Now,
It was right below me, so I was able to see it the whole time, actually.
All right, now let's say you're in the same situation, but you land, I don't know, in some guy's random farm, right? You bring it down safely. What is your next step, and then what do they do to get the plane out of there? It's not like a tow truck, right?
Can't really say because that's never happened to me, and I do not really know anyone that's ever happened to.
There's no protocol in place like, look, man, you set this thing down, you're on someone's private property, this is who you call. I mean, would you just call 911? Do you call back to the private airport that you left from, or who?
Well, because you're in contact with, assuming that the airport is actually controlled, you're in contact with ATC the whole time, so they should know where you are. You tell them where you're going to land, and hopefully emergency vehicles will come your way. But if there's no control of the airports around there, then I would presume that you just call 911.
Okay. Now, do you think you could land this thing, say, on I-5? It's rush hour. It's not quite wall-to-wall traffic, but you see your opening to try to put this thing down. In spite of the fact traffic, well, it's Seattle, so it's moving 18 miles an hour, but assume it's moving at 60 miles an hour. Do you think you could pull that off?
I mean, typically, if that's really your only option, then that's kind of what you have to do.
All right, fair enough.
I think they build interstates based on that. Every certain amount of miles,
I think it's
they need to...
1 mile out of every 5, I believe, don't quote me on this, has to be a straightaway for that reason.
Okay, what's the difference between landing a plane that does not have an engine compared to a plane that does? Is there any difference in the formatics of the speed of the descent? Does that all play into effect, or is it pretty similar to land it, even though it's an emergency landing? Is it the same kind of principles in place?
Well, yes and no, because in a powered and controlled landing, you're powered and you're moving typically a lot faster than you otherwise would. I mean, basically, without an engine, you're pretty much a glider, and you have to take that into account. And also, because you don't have a working engine anymore, that means that you're more likely to stall a lot quicker than you otherwise would with a working engine, you know?
Are all of those thoughts going through your head as you're trying to land this thing? Or is it just...
Absolutely.
So it's not just focus on the task at hand. You're thinking about everything else that could possibly go wrong.
I mean, I try not to, but you can't really help but think about that stuff at the same time.
Thank you for being honest about that.
Alex, did you poop a little?
No, I was actually surprisingly totally calm the whole time. I mean, after the engine went out, I was like, "Oh crap! Where do I got to put this thing down?"
Yeah, we've had a couple of private planes go down the area, and it was not good here within the last couple.
Dude,
of days.
I just found out last week watching all this D-Day stuff. The first people on the ground were these British troops that use gliders to get ahead behind enemy lines. So, like a regular plane would take off,
right?
Tow the glider, and there's a glider driver. The rest of the troops are in there, and then basically they just had to like crash land it, and then go secure the bridge.
One last question for you, man. From the moment that your engine goes out, how long in your mind do you have to set the plane down before it's catastrophic?
Well, that all depends on the weight of your aircraft, how much fuel you have on board. When this happened, I think I was descending maybe. Initially the rate of descent I think I was going at was maybe between 800 and 500 feet per minute.
Okay, all right. So you have that. Divide that by 6,000, and there's your answer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. I can do that math.
The reason we asked if you ever crashed anything in your car, we go to Maine, the monster truck capital of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Is it really?
No. A police investigator concluded no criminal charges were warranted after a lobster-themed monster truck clipped a power line.
How Maine can you get?
Scary moments with live wires falling to the ground. 2 people were taken to the hospitals. Several people were injured Saturday when utility poles snapped and a transformer tumbled to the ground at the Topsham Fairgrounds. Witnesses said people were trapped in portable toilets, which had wires laying on top of them. Basically, this monster truck called the Crush Station, which is a huge lobster on top of a monster truck. It's a lobster shell on top of this truck, right? He'd been doing jumps for the morning shows, no problem. He caught some serious air on one of these jumps, and he got a hold of one of the power lines.
And his big lobster claw?
And it held on, and it pulled down the power poles. with a transformer on top of one of them. The driver was trapped in the cockpit because there was a live power line going on top of his car. Another wire was draped over a man on the ground that he ran over when he hit the ground. Then you have a whole bunch of people in porta potties that are trapped because they have wires going on top of the porta potties, so they can't leave the porta potties. The driver told police his truck had bounced over that dirt ramp several times earlier, but caught the wire on the last jump.
Hey, I mean, game time's different than practice.
It's true.
Yep. Neither the owner of the Crush Station or the promoter of the event returned messages seeking comment on the matter.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Odyssey.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that human connection means the world. By connecting with one another, we know we're not alone. By connecting, we feel what others feel. We breathe better, laugh easier, and feel healthier. At Regents, connection is at the heart of everything we do. It inspires our commitment to our communities and to you. Here, health isn't just a you thing, it's a we thing. Regents Blue Shield. Together we health.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is random question 206-803-ROCK. Hello, Danny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Danny, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. Danny, what would you say is the scariest event that you've ever witnessed? Scariest event.
I mean, I was in Iraq, so, mortars raining from the sky, listening to machine guns while you're eating breakfast, detainees with bags over their heads, all kinds of stuff. I was supposed to go to the PX to buy a TV and decided to stay back, and they attacked the PX on Camp Victory in Baghdad, and it killed 4 people, and injured 20, and I was going to go there, except I decided not to last second. And all kinds. Whatever.
When you say I'm eating breakfast and there's mortars dropping or I hear machine gun fire, do you stop eating breakfast and engage, or is it one of those that you wait for the command, or they just say don't worry about it, not close enough?
Camp Victory is a huge camp, and I was a mechanic, so if they have gotten inside of this camp with 150,000 soldiers on it, I don't think my maintenance company is going to do much of anything.
You wouldn't take them out with a wrench?
I had a saw. I carried a 249 saw, which is a machine gun based on the M16. But yes. But like I said, there was really nothing. It's just them fighting, a mile or two away at the perimeter, pretty much.
How do you get to be the guy with the saw? Because he always seems like the coolest guy in the platoon.
They just pick you usually because you're a good marksman with the rifle or whatever, or they think you can carry 25 pounds of ammo and a machine gun around.
What was the hottest day you remember?
Oh man, I mean, it was routinely like 120. Like, if you would put the wrenches down when you were working on the Humvee and you'd leave them in the sun, when you would go to pick them back up, they would literally burn your hand.
How many times did you do that?
I mean, more than I should have, but you learn pretty quick. Put it in the shade underneath the truck or whatever,
Yeah, it's probably still hot, though. That's crazy.
God damn it.
Yeah, really hot. And I used to live in Phoenix, and I mean, like, Iraq is way hotter.
I was going to say, though, at least you were somewhat acclimated to have an expectation where, if you live anywhere else in the country, you might not be used to that type of heat, but at least you'd experience something close.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a little different when you're wearing, like, full body armor with plates and a helmet and carrying, 30-pound rock and 25 pounds of ammo.
But also,
you're basically
everyone I know from Phoenix, when the summer hits, they don't go outdoors. You stay with the air conditioning, or you're in the pool, not hanging out, working on vehicles while getting shot at.
In body armor.
Yeah.
You ever just take a breakfast sandwich to the gun range just to kind of remind you of the old days?
He's already gone. Dad, I don't know how you don't do interviews for 60 minutes.
Right.
Today, we have Iraq war veteran and hero. 7 different tours. Our first question, people need to know. Don't just grab a breakfast sandwich. I mean, just remind you of home.
Yeah, look, my dad used to talk about it. As bad as all the stuff was in Vietnam, he was like it's scary, but that level of, adrenaline and this and that, he's like, that's why a lot of people struggle when they get out. It's hard to recreate that when you're, you're sitting there eating breakfast and you hear machine guns firing. It's like, it gets the heart going, I would think.
You would think so.
It was some cities I could tell them to move to.
Please ask, what is the scariest event you've witnessed? This was some crazy stuff that went down in Oregon over the weekend. A rodeo bull hopped a fence surrounding an Oregon arena and ran through a concession area, then into the parking lot, injuring at least 3 people before wranglers caught up with it. The crowd at the 84th Sisters Rodeo in the city of Sisters.
Ooh.
All right? I want you to paint this picture.
This one?
I do. I have a friend that lives down there.
Okay. This is the beginning of the rodeo, for the most part.
Oh, this was the beginning?
Yes. Jeez. All right? They are all standing up, and everyone is singing Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA.
And keep in mind, they all have their cell phones up. Kind of record each other.
To be an American. When this bull just takes off right with the soundtrack.
Right.
The bull ran around the arena. That was the final bull ride of the night. My apologies.
No, it ended up being.
Yes. Then the bull hopped the fence, according to video shot by a fan. Other videos posted online showed the bull running through the concessions area, knocking over a garbage can, and sending people scrambling. The bull lifted one woman off the ground, spun her over, flipped her up again, and then bounced her off the horns before she hit the ground, and then he stepped on her and walked off.
And it was all intentional. When you see the way he kind of knocks her back up in the air, you're like, okay, the bull meant to do this.
If the bulls could just do that easily, hop out of the arena.
Be an American.
How does this not happen more often, unfortunately?
I know, that's the thing. They can just jump over the fence. Like, you're seeing what we saw, man. Like, yeah, that's...
The Sisters Rodeo Association issued a statement yesterday saying that 3 people were injured as a result of the bull. 2 of them were transported to a local hospital. Professionals did secure the bull next to a livestock holding pen, placed it in a pen. The Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association Saturday said the incident is a reminder that while rodeo is a highly entertaining sport, on very rare occasions, it can also pose some risk. The rodeo's final performance on Sunday went on as scheduled with no problems.
All right, now I'm watching the video of the bull going through concessions.
And flipping the woman over.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, you're right. He's just jogging by, and then it's like, I'm going to go ahead and hit her.
I don't like that bitch. The bull runs by 40 people, just keys in on her like, yeah, I'm taking you out.
Yeah, you're right. He jogs by
a ton of people.
Yeah.
Finds her.
And then, and he just ducks in. It's like, I hate you.
Yep.
A lot. Bull stuff.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Nick, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Okay, here's a weird one for you, but it does deal with animals, but we'll get there eventually. As far as the weekends go, I don't know what your work schedule is or everything else, but, you go home, you make yourself something to eat real quick and hopefully get at least a decent dinner in and try to eat during the day if you have time from your job. But it seems like the weekends is where especially in the summer, it's kind of time to shine on food a little bit more.
Oh, for sure.
As far as firing up the barbecue grill or preparing what you're going to make, planning ahead. You're going to spend a day doing this, maybe doing some yard work, but you're going to eat. So the question is, what did you have to eat this weekend?
Oh, that's a good question because I was down in Alabama with buddies on a lake.
Oh, man. All right. There's not a lot I like about Alabama, but I like the food.
Well, we all cooked for ourselves because we had a boathouse on Lewis Smith Lake, which is a 21,000-acre lake that's huge.
Now, when you say when you say boathouse, do you mean one that's actually floating on the water that you can use as an actual boat, or do you mean a boat like we have here that's on the water, or a house?
So a house is on land, but there's a stairway down to the dock where we had a boat dock, jet skis docked, and whatnot. So sorry for the misconfusion.
No. Are there alligators in that lake?
No. This lake used to be a town back in like the 50s. The Alabama Power Association, I guess, decided it was a floodplain, paid everybody to get out, flooded it, and there's 2 cities there that are still like, if you were to dive down 300 feet, you'd see the actual old cities from the 1950s.
Damn.
So is this lake safe, or is it like Lake Lanier outside of Atlanta, where people are always going to die?
Yeah.
No, it's safe. I mean, this weekend was jam-packed with boats and jet skis, and just this lake has got a lot of, it's not a really like wide lake, it's a lot of really skinny channels, fingers going off of it.
All right, because it was a damn
like
valley.
Main channels to kind of go all the way around, yeah.
You'd be surprised at the talent in Alabama. I was down there for a week, and I was shocked at the number of attractive people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you eat?
So we had chicken, grilled up some chicken, grilled up some pork barbecue. I made some homemade burgers last night that I just kind of throw everything that I can into the burger, make my own patties, nice and thick. I mean, shredded cheese, barbecue sauce, seasonings, minced onion, the works.
That sounds awesome.
The patties, throw them on the grill. Yeah.
How many beers do you think you consumed during that weekend?
Actually, not that many. We weren't really drinking. We were on the water a lot and trying to be kind of safe, and we had partied quite a bit in our Navy days, so we kind of retired drinking and just try and hang out and enjoy ourselves. I mean, hangovers suck for me personally, so I prefer smoking weed. So that's my thing, and that's what I do.
How hard is it to connect with a dealer in Alabama? I guess you know somebody who lives down there.
Oh no, I'm currently driving back. I was on the phone with VD, which was pretty exciting because I've been listening to you guys since 2009. I've called in a couple times before. Like VD's from Illinois, which is where I'm back in Illinois now, heading north. It was a 9.5-hour drive from Alabama up to my hometown in Illinois.
Damn.
All right. Well, that makes more sense. I thought you were driving back to Seattle.
No, I brought my own stash with me and I rolled like 35 joints.
All right.
For the trip.
Good for you.
That is preparation right there, kids.
Yeah. What did you guys eat for the weekend? Ted, I know you were in Oregon. What did you do?
I was down in Oregon. I went to a food truck. There's like a roundup. So there's like 20 trucks. So I had some beef kofta and...
What's beef kofta?
You know, it's like ground beef with different spices and stuff. Like if you're going to get a gyro, usually they'll have it as well.
All right.
And then it's like formed together in like a long stick of beef.
So they can still shave it off like they do the lamb, yeah.
Or, I mean, they just cook it on grill it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. And there was this green sauce. I just had to ask the guy, like, look, I'm white. I don't know what this sauce is, but it's delicious. And then, last night I had sushi for dinner.
All right. Very good. Steve, do you remember what you had?
No, I know I had 2 hot dogs yesterday.
What kind?
I don't know.
Good ones?
My wife just said, you want a hamburger? You want hot dogs? Like, we've been working out in the yard all day. We're tired. We know the kids will be happy to eat that. So I had 2 hot dogs. Then got stoned and had a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's all I remember.
Saturday night grilled a steak or Friday night grilled a steak?
Sorry, man. It's not glamorous.
It's just funny you had the diet of like a 12-year-old. Oh, a couple hot dogs and a bowl of cereal.
And very much like a 12-year-old, yes.
Went to the bar on Saturday night and got some New Zealand green lip mussels and some clams, which were fantastic.
It feels racist when you said it.
I know.
What, green lip mussels? It's like if you go down...
God damn New Zealand green lip mussels.
You ever hooked up with an alien? It's like that. But no, they're great. But like anything else, when you just have a half pound of mussels and a half pound of clams, I'm starving by the time I get back to the hotel room. So I got a Big Mac. And then last night I made a big fat steak again on a steak roll.
I should say, I said this off the air. Shout out to Jack in the Box. On the road trip home, I tried their new smash burger. Pretty good for fast food burger, man.
The reason we asked, what did you have to eat this weekend? Tragic news and video footage has emerged out of Indonesia after a missing person was found inside a 16-foot reticulated python, the longest and largest snake in the world. This is the 5th time since 2017 a human has been eaten by a reticulated python in Indonesia alone. The 5th time. The person was a 45-year-old mother of 4. Her husband became suspicious when he found her belongings, but she was nowhere to be seen. So they began a search, and they found a massive 16-foot reticulated python.
Haven't seen her.
With an unusually enlarged stomach. The snake was captured,
fibroid thing,
and its stomach was opened up to reveal everyone's worst nightmare, as video footage showed both by the Daily Mail and TMZ showed the fully clothed woman remains inside of the snake.
Damn.
And the stomach. And then the villagers carried the woman named Farida back to the village.
Now, the snake, I know it eats you whole. Is it just swallowing you whole? Is it grinding you up? Or
swallows
you just slowly getting sucked into it?
It swallows you whole.
And then what do you just suffocate?
I would think so.
I believe it
suffocates
bones. You before it begins the feeding process.
Oh, I see. So he probably wrapped around her, killed her, and then ate her.
And then ate her.
You want to deal with tiger or reticulated python?
Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
go out on my shield.
Yeah.
I get eaten by a damn snake.
Or get fried by a car battery. The incident occurred in a village in a mountain area. Yeah, I'll take the battery. They say the human civilization there dates back about 30,000 years. So it's been around for a while, according to archaeological remains.
So they have a taste for humans.
Yeah, the snake's it's delicious.
A similar incident occurred last year, but this time the snake was not 16 feet. You see, the snake was 28 feet.
Jesus.
And it ate a farmer. Another similar incident had occurred in the year prior to that, which they believed to be the same snake that ate the farmer.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. You know, it knows where the people are. Just hunts.
Random.
Are they that fast?
I don't.
Like when you see them, and look.
I think they just hide and they strike, and once they get a hold of you, they wrap so fast, they hit you and they spin.
Because it's crazy. And look, I get it.
It's like an alligator.
Nature's a smart thing, but you just think there's a 28-foot long creature that cannot walk and cannot fly, and somehow it can sneak up on you. Mm-hmm. That is terrifying. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Jess, welcome to the program. And the random question. Let's go with this one. What did or do you do that you know you should not be doing? What did you do?
That's a loaded question.
Really is.
Just pick one.
Yeah, so we know we could be here for the rest of the show. Just pick one.
Yeah, right. Okay, I guess, what do I do? Smoking cigarettes. I mean, I've tried to quit a couple of times, and I made it 6 months the first time, made it about 2 weeks the next go-around.
What was your trigger after 6 months? You made it 6 months. What's the thing that got you back to it?
Well, okay, so a coworker of mine introduced me to Zen. I don't know. I mean, I know, Thrill, you smoke, right?
Yes.
Miles, you smoke?
Yep.
Well, have you guys ever tried any of those just nicotine pouches just to kind of, if maybe you're indoors and you just can't break away for a smoke? I actually quit smoking a couple of times using that. And then one day didn't have any Zen, and I'm like, well, buying 1 pack of smokes, it's not going to be the end of the world. Well, guess what? I just did about 2 hours ago, went and bought another pack of smokes. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's typically about right.
I think sometimes with smoking, it's just such a habitual thing, too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the hand and the mouth stuff and lighting it up, and then.
And also the times you do it. You know what I mean?
That, and I notice it with my friends that try to quit, is with booze.
That will never help you quit smoking.
Yeah. Not only that, but you think after a while...
Think about it like this. A lot of people that don't normally smoke, if they go out boozing, they'll bum a couple of cigarettes. I mean, they might not smoke again for a month, but when they start drinking, they want a cigarette.
We remember the story from last week about the guy that was in front of the judge with a quote-unquote suspended license, and that's why he was having his Zoom trial hearing at that point in time. And it turns out his license was not, in fact, suspended. He never had one to suspend. He never had one to begin with. Here's another story like that. A Long Island woman was arrested for driving despite having over 50 license suspensions.
Just take it away.
At around 1 a.m., police noticed that Kaylin Snyder was driving her Jeep Liberty without a rear license plate. So they pulled over on a highway.
Jesus.
After further investigation, they found that Snyder had 52 license suspensions that were issued on 13 different occasions. She was charged with aggravated unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle and will appear in court at a later date. By the way, they did take her Jeep to make sure that she did not drive it anymore.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
With an American Standard heat pump system, the future of heating and cooling your home is already here. Bringing constant comfort to your home, American Standard heat pumps are energy efficient, reliable, and ready for tomorrow today. Plus, making the upgrade from your traditional furnace or AC unit is easier than ever before with home energy offers, rebates, and tax credits. Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification. American Standard, built to a higher standard.
Yeah, I got an Ecobee smart home, and nosy Ned next door comes over to see. I told him about Ecobee. Turns out Ecobee's a lot smarter than his better-known smart home. I told him, Ned, get yourself a smarter home. Visit Ecobee.com today.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
With an American Standard heat pump system, the future of heating and cooling your home is already here. Bringing constant comfort to your home, American Standard heat pumps are energy efficient, reliable, and ready for tomorrow today. Plus, making the upgrade from your traditional furnace or AC unit is easier than ever before with home energy offers, rebates, and tax credits. Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification. American Standard, built to a higher standard.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK before we get to our next caller. Let's beam our satellite somewhere. Mike Hawk, are you there?
I am.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing grand. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good, man. How's the weekend?
Oh, it was a nice weekend. Bright and sunshiny outside. Got the lady back home on, when was that? That was Saturday afternoon, I think we got her home.
Did that kind of ruin your plans, man? Like you said, the weather was really nice.
You said you were going to go outside and have fun.
I was going to mow the lawn. I was going to lay out there. I was going to drink all day. And then all of a sudden, what do you know? She's got a clean bill of health. We need to take her home. So
no gaming.
Okay. Man, you can hear the love in the voice. See that clean bill.
You've been playing nurse all weekend.
That's exactly what I've been doing, Miles. There's been a lot of cottage cheese and applesauce that has been served up.
I was going to say, you can't cook
for the bedroom.
I really can't, man. I was cooking on the regular. I was getting used to actually cooking in my kitchen, but now it's all soft foods that are just out of a bottle.
Why don't you make mashed potatoes?
That's next on the list.
Okay.
Believe it or not, we've actually had this conversation.
Is this an excuse for you to just eat some ice cream? Soft foods?
I'm not answering questions like that, man. Come on.
I'm just saying I would use it. I was like, well, my wife can only have soft food, so ice cream for dinner.
So look, man.
I may or may not have already had a fudge sickle today. So
as far as playing doctor, playing nurse, I assume that does not mean you're opening her up with a scalpel. But in addition to serving her soft foods, like what other medical related things? Are you changing bandages, that kind of thing?
So when she first came home, she had I forget what they call this thing, but it's a pump basically, and it's a medication pump, and it just periodically will start to pump medications into her, and there's actually tubes in her abdomen, and that came out yesterday. And
so you inserted it in your throat.
So these drugs are all about
pumping some stuff down there.
Thing ain't dry yet.
I'm in pain.
Exactly.
Mental pain.
Yeah. No, that had to be extracted yesterday, and it was rather sickening just how far they were able to put these tubes into her. And then, of course, the good part is that she can't quite bend over right now. She had a laparoscopy, which is basically
no more doggy style.
Exactly. So instead of opening her up center mass and going inside, they make a handful of small incisions, inflate her stomach, and are able to do things robotically. But unfortunately, that still screws with the abdominal muscles, so she's not able to bend over and pick things up off the ground or anything like that. Also, she's not able to shower properly by herself. So I'm on shower duty.
How bad does she smell? Be honest.
Not at all, dude.
Did you have a shower head that you could take off the rack?
Thank God, yes, we do.
All right. That's a lot easier.
I used to use that for washing my dog.
Do you have to put peanut butter on the side of the tub so she doesn't get squirrely?
He just sits there and looks at the whole time.
You're gonna be playing nurse all week, but you'll be back on Friday. Now, can you do everything that you need to do from there? Can you fire off sound effects that we can hear?
You're darn right that I can.
What do you got?
I even tried it a little bit earlier today. Let's see.
Drop the beat.
Okay.
Please clap.
All right, so you got the power from
D, and she's going to get one.
Okay.
See, I kind of want to during emails play a game, but Mike's quicker, so I think he'll win.
Who can find the sound effect quicker?
Yeah, just throw one out. We'll see if Mike or I can find it.
All right, hang on, let me think of one. Rhino fart. Mike beats it. All right, one for Mike.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
Drop the beat. Do that one again.
Drop the beat. Drop the beat.
Yeah.
Drop the beat.
Okay. All right.
A script is a story. It's not a storybook.
So you're just making mashed potatoes for dinner? Is that the idea tonight? That's all you're eating?
Pretty much. Yesterday we fancied things up a little bit and made pasta with marinara sauce.
Ooh, that's going to catch on in Italy, brother. I can feel it.
The new hotness.
Well, we'll check in on you coming back here with headlines. But I'm glad everything's okay, man. I'm glad the wife's doing good and she's home and she's healthy and everything's going good.
Dude, she's recovering like a champion. Like, no kid, my girl does everything extra. So when the doctors are coming to me, they're freaking me out because they're like, this is the worst case that we've seen in top 3 worst cases that we've ever seen.
Cool, thanks.
Goes. Right? And then all of a sudden, when they lay her up, they say, okay, so after the surgery that you had, you're probably going to be here between 4 to 6 days in the hospital. 3.5, she was like, she's pretty much ready to go. We just got to keep her to make sure that nothing actually happened. She was out on day 4 as soon as they could.
Do you ask doctors, why do they tell you that? So they'll say, like, hey, man, we've done this a million times, but this is one of the worst cases we've seen, top 3. And I feel like in that moment, you should glance at their desk and be like, oh, is that your wife? Now, she's not the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life, but I've seen millions of women. That is top 3 ugly, brother.
I'm starting to relate it to when rock stars go out there on stage and say, Seattle, this is the best crowd that we've seen on this tour.
Until tomorrow when we tell them the same thing.
But Thurl's right. There's no other, a coach or a personal trainer would be like, all right, you're out of shape, but, at least you have some flexibility. When like, Jesus Christ, you're the worst shaped person I've ever seen.
Third worst person that's ever come in here signed up for me to.
You know what? Billy's going to be your trainer. I can't even handle this.
I'm guessing based on the circumstances, you've given up power of the remote control, which is probably a very painful thing all day long of watching crap. I know how women are, man. If they get it all day off at home and you're like, what are you into? What is wrong with you? Well, you watch ants have sex at night on PBS. You're not wrong, but
it's educational.
I'm stoned then.
Right.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. We'll check back in later.
All right,
thanks, guys. Yeah, man.
Mike Hawk, everyone. Dr. Mike Hawk.
I mean, he could really mess with us because he can use the sound effects and talk.
Oh, they're dropping it anytime.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah. You are wrong, too. And there we go. That wasn't even a sound effect. That was him. Hello, Dane. Welcome to the men's room.
Right you are, Ted.
Hola, guys.
Hola. Dane, welcome to the program. And the random question. Let's go with this one. This might be a little creepy, but who do you think is the sexiest unreal person? The sexiest unreal person. So not a real person.
Jessica Rabbit, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Jessica Rabbit.
Daphne from Scooby-Doo. No one says Velma, but Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, let's think. A fictional person, the sexiest one. Oh, I have to nerd out. I have to go with the Dragon Ball Z reference.
All right.
That'd be Android 18.
Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z. Okay, Ted is typing it in now.
He's right up Ted's alley.
He is or she is?
She is. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but Smurfette is up Ted's alley. She's blonde and has huge boobs.
So is Android 18.
Oh, yeah.
Can you flip that around
to? You
to?
guys are Googling it right now to figure out what I'm talking about.
I mean, look at her figurine.
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
You know what, man? I can't even make fun of you for that. Yeah.
I know, hate Ted. She's into short, bald dudes.
Oh, sweet.
Would you go?
Oh, of course this woman isn't real.
Would you go to Ball Z deep?
Oh, God. Reason we asked, who do you think is the sexiest?
I got a couple more miles. All right. Betty Boop.
Betty Boop, really?
Yeah.
She's got
That
big
old
eyes,
school?
but there's no...
What about, I think the woman from Futurama?
One-eyed chick?
Yeah.
If you saw her in real life and she had one eye, right, is equally, quote-unquote, as attractive, but she has one eye center of her head, are you still in?
Yes.
Ted has sex with that one-eyed girl.
You never saw the old comic movie Heavy Metal, did you? I think that was my first foray into WoW. That is a
lots of animated
sexy
boobs.
Comic characters in that, but... The FanView Miss AI pageant, the world's first beauty pageant for AI-generated female models, judges contestants on beauty, social media clout, and their creators' use of AI tools. At first, they said that artificial intelligence was coming after our jobs, but now it seems that not even beauty pageants are safe. Originally announced back in April, a subscription-based platform from creators, the world's first beauty pageant for AI-generated avatars made international news headlines and sparked controversy online. But based on the popularity of AI models like Atana Lopez and Emily Pellegrini on social media, I guess this type of event was bound to happen at some point. There are about 1,500 AI-generated girls who were submitted by creators from all over the world. Only 10 of them made the finalist list.
And now, look, I did make it a point for the research purposes of this program to look at the top 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10 of them, I am quite upset, do not actually exist.
Top 3 contestants, by the way, they can win a total of $20,000 in prizes, so nothing to sneeze at. The creator of one of the crowned Miss AI is expected to walk away with about $5,000, but they say this event is about more than cash prizes, as winning the world's first beauty pageant for AI-generated female models is bound to open up new opportunities in the fast-growing AI space. Despite
porn, just say
Jesus,
this is right. This is specifically what they are designed for.
Yeah, be curious to see if women AI creators wouldn't do the same thing with men as well.
So. I'm sure they would. Anyone familiar with the girl bunny from Space Jam?
Oh, Lola Bunny?
Lola Bunny. Yeah,
damn right.
I guess you are.
Yeah, this guy and Alita. I just said you like women with big eyes. She's a little disturbing. Me personally, I know it's a real human, but. Playing the role, but what's her face? The blue chick from Avatar.
Mm-hmm. Don't know her name.
Yeah, the blue one.
Her name does not matter because her name is something different in the movie. But like, even if she looked like that, but like Thrill, she's blue. She has pointy ears. I believe they have tails. I don't know. I'd be like, dude, I got to crush that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I remember as a kid, it was very confusing.
It was
because you're just like, God, Jessica Rabbit's attractive.
Well, you felt weird because I'm like, this is not a real human being. I understand that it's a cartoon. I'm well old enough to understand that, and I really, really, really want to have sex with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just can't help myself, man.
Random.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, John.
No, John.
Goodbye, John.
See you, John.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What event or thing have you walked out of? You just said, to hell with it, I'm leaving. Whether it was a restaurant you didn't like, a show you didn't like, an in-law you didn't like, the hell with it, I'm out of here. What event did you walk out of?
Yeah, I got talked into going to Wonder Woman 84 in the theater. Screw that. That was horrible after 30 minutes.
Did you walk out?
Absolutely. With my popcorn, because that was great. But the movie was not.
What movie did you say?
Wonder Woman 19. So the most recent one they made. I saw the first one. It was decent, right? It is what it is. I heard such bad reviews of that latest Wonder Woman movie. I'm like, as much as I could watch Gal Gadot do anything, it's under like even that will not save me.
Yeah.
It is just that bad.
I'm trying to think what I've walked out of a restaurant after I was seated for 20 minutes. Someone said after 20 minutes that a server would be over shortly. Waited 5 more minutes, and I stood up, and I'm like, baby, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like this, it's just
I've done that
It's going to
before.
take too long. We can go someplace else. Obviously, this is not a good night for them, so we'll come back at a different time. But I've done that before.
Walked out of a restaurant with my father. I was a kid. I didn't quite piece it together. I would say I was about 8. We were on a ski trip. Understand, we're not a skiing family, but the people visiting us were. We live close to Vail, Colorado. They wanted to go. I don't know anything about it. I'm sure it's changed. A little hoity-toity. But anyway, my father and I went in to grab lunch because we're not skiers. They just would not serve us. You piece together why. Yeah, my father kept it cool a little bit. Then I got a little older. He's like, yeah, they didn't want to serve black people, man. So,
okay.
I'm like,
that's justified.
That's a fair reason. I walked out of the 3 days grace interview.
Yeah, you did. And that was justified.
I thought that was completely, like, he doesn't want to be interviewed and the guy's being a D. So, and honestly, I thought the interview was over. When I got up and left, I mean, we were pissy, but I thought it was over. It's no big deal. And then I come into work the following Monday, and A.E. Dave was like, hey, man, did you walk out of a 3 days grace interview? I'm like, I know we stopped an interview and I walked away because I don't want to punch the guy in the face. And it was getting to that point, but I didn't leave in the middle. He said, man, the manager, handler, whoever the person is, they called, said you got up and walked out in the middle of the interview. So, well, then that's what I did. But either way, I don't feel bad because I was going to punch that guy in the face. He sucked. Yeah. He really did.
I have my father-in-law is one of those guys. We always get together when we go to sporting events. And he's probably got a rule very similar to your brother, but more stringent than that.
Do not leave until the game is over.
Do not leave. And so it could be, the Mariners could be up 17-2 in the 9th inning.
And he won't leave.
We're the only people sitting in this section. And we cannot leave the ballpark until the game is over. Now, I've never, to this day, I mean, it's never been that kind of scenario.
Right.
But I know for a fact if I go...
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. You know, we could be up by 21 runs, and he still would insist that we watch the rest of the game, even if it's in the 6th inning, because you never know what's going to happen. He's not wrong, but statistically speaking,
I think it depends on the sport, too, right? There's only a finite number of home games for, like, college football.
Right.
So generally people stay for that. I think NFL, again, you only get, 8 or 9 home games?
Right.
But right, like baseball or even Sounders games. I mean, I remember a summer or two ago. I mean, they were just getting their butt whipped, and they'd been getting their butt whipped all month. But it was a nice sunny afternoon, like noon game on a Saturday. I just looked at my buddy. I go, "Let's go." Like the players don't give an ass right now. Obviously, why should we ruin our Saturday?
I've also been to a Husky game where it was halftime, and I went outside to smoke. And where you smoke, based on where I was sitting, it was more near the water. And one of our listeners walked by who had been to a few Red Festivals. He's like, Miles, man, what are you doing? I'm like, just down here smoking. He's like, do you want to come back to the boat for a while? I'm like, hell yeah. Grab a beer and a shot on your boat? Sure. So I walked down. It's probably a couple hundred yards away where the boats are. Went down there, got on the boat, smoking a cigarette on the boat, got a cold beer, had a couple shots with the guys.
Games on TV?
They didn't have that.
Okay.
But I'm still I'm on a boat. and it's really nice for the fall. It's a beautiful day. I'm like, do I really want to go back into this football game or not? I mean,
that is, I think it's great that Husky Stadium, is it still in and out? I can't remember.
It was to smoke. Yeah, it was in and out at halftime.
You could go in and out, but I'm with you. There has definitely been Husky games where, because I had some friends, their tradition was they would run out at halftime, and they'd almost have a side tailgate set up. But same thing, man. Before you know it, people are going back in, and it's like, let's have one more. And then you're right. Somebody has a TV. You could hear the crowd. The grill's still hot. We got to wait till the grill's cold.
The beers are cold, and they're right there in the cooler.
Yeah, then before you know it,
free.
It's fourth quarter. It's like,
how we doing? All right. Okay, good. Raise your ass. What event did you walk out of? George Lopez may have started the sold-out show in good spirits, but he didn't end it that way. The comedian left the stage at California's Eagle Mountain Casino 30 minutes early on the Friday night show after complaining about hecklers. The casino claimed the 63-year-old let his fans down. It said Lopez's private security team could have easily escorted any of the hecklers out, but did not. The casino also claims Lopez failed to provide an opportunity to, quote, allow our security team to escort the hecklers out and do their job. However, a rep for Lopez said the casino then failed to do its duty to provide a good experience for both the artist and the fans, leaving the comedian in, quote, an unsafe environment. Now, the audience was overserved and unruly, according to Lopez, and the casino staff was unable to provide a safe and enjoyable experience. Lopez's personal security, they were working the venue, and they said to maintain order, ensure safety, and eject disruptive individuals, we needed to work with the casino's security team. They were not adequately prepared to accomplish this task. The final straw was apparently a woman asking if she could buy George Lopez a drink. So I think she shouted that out after he warned a couple times, strike one and strike two.
That's the final straw.
They were...
I'd have been like, yes, and then can you be quiet?
Were apparently yelling out some of his more famous lines from some of his comedy specials.
Oh, yeah, they're just hammered.
Yeah. A user says a handful of people were calling him out. People were yelling, I love you, and then making references to old jokes, but nothing bad. Others said that Lopez ended the show after canceling an earlier date at the same venue due to a medical emergency. Quote, he never wanted to be here to begin with, and it showed, one user wrote. A casino employee even complained that teams spent twice the day's time normal setting up the event center for the comedian, who had a bunch of special requests, to be let down both times. Lopez rep says he feels badly that those who came to the show were unable to see the rest of the performance.
Have you ever heard Patton Oswalt's bit about being at a tribal casino and same thing?
No.
So it happened here. I won't say which casino it was, but a good friend of mine, his buddy opens up for Patton Oswalt a lot, travels with him and opens up for him. So he was at that show. But Patton Oswalt, the way he tells his story, same thing. It's like VIP guests, and I guess, just crazy deals on drinks, this and that.
Sure.
So the opener's out there. He has to cut his kind of short, and he says, he's like, look, the suite I'm in is beautiful. They're paying me too much money. Like this, and then when he gets close to going on stage, they're, he's got an hour and a half maybe. They're like, we just need 20 minutes. And he's like, you guys are paying me ridiculous. I'm going to do my set. And they're like, trust us. Just do 20. So basically he goes out there, same thing. And they're not mean. They're just hammered.
Right.
So he said, I'm not doing it justice, but the gist of the bit is every once in a while, he's just like, Ratatouille. And they go nuts. And he basically stands out there for 20 minutes, says Ratatouille a few times. It gets this massive check. And then the casino's like, thanks for doing it. The people are like, we had a blast. But yeah.
Cool.
That's why with George Lopez, I'm like, I get cutting that short, but I don't know that I'd be angry.
Don't be angry. Right.
Yeah. I would also recommend, now with social media, you see a lot of comedians doing crowd work, and they put that out there to kind of promote themselves.
Which confuses people.
Right. But also, people remember, when you go to a comedy show, nobody's there to see you. They're there to see the comedian.
Yes. And one more on walking out. A bride's sister has been applauded for leaving the wedding early after a maid of honor humiliated her. In a recent post shared on Reddit, the woman explained how she was one of the bridesmaids for her older sister's wedding. And she shared that while everything at the wedding was running smoothly, things took a turn at the reception when her sister's best friend, who was also the maid of honor, made a certain joke in her speech. It was emotional and all, but then she made a joke about how I was the family screw-up, who finally managed to do something right by not messing up my bridesmaid duties. She wrote about the speech. Everyone laughed. I did not find it funny. She described how she's been having a tough few years and been struggling, acknowledged that she's gotten her life back on track. She emphasized that she didn't find any amusement in the joke. And she also opened up about her relationship with her sister's maid of honor. She added that she'd stepped outside during the wedding after being hurt by the speech, and that her sister followed her, asked her what was wrong. Although the bride told her younger sibling it was just a joke, and that the maid of honor meant nothing bad by it, she still said the hell with it and decided to get in her car and take off. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
And that's probably one of the biggest challenges is looking on yourself.
Yes.
You know, and being aware of how you carry yourself, of how you command a room, and, you know, how you listen with others, interact with others. And the better you are with that, I think the more effective you can be as a communicator. But it takes time.
Dental sound bites, created for dentists by dentists.
Sometimes it's really learning to draw back. You know, I'll have some patients who come in and I can tell they don't want to talk to me.
Dental sound bites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcast.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine on the way. Our categories today, we have the best cities for staycations and the best states for foodies. Your guess is as good as mine on the way after emails and our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up, man?
Hola. John, welcome to the program. And the random question. Let's see. What do I got for you? All right, John, what is what would you say is the lamest tourist attraction that you have been to in your lifetime? The lamest tourist attraction.
Wow. Dude. That's a scary, one jumped into my head, but I don't know if I want to say that over the radio.
I mean, can it be said, or would it just be an unpopular opinion?
Well, okay, I'll go for it. Way back in the 80s, they were trying to raise funds for the Martin Luther King hotel there. Whatever the daggum hotel was. I was living in Memphis, and I was cruising through there, and me and my buddy had skipped work. And let's see, we'll just say one of these girls wasn't supporting the hotel, and it was like right there in front of it. And that kind of, yeah.
So you're saying there's a prostitute in front of the hotel?
It's supposed to be this big historic thing, and basically it's Aurora Avenue.
All right, okay. All right.
And they got signs, please donate and stuff like that, geez, I ain't got nothing to do today, and I'm about half lit, and yeah.
I've heard Graceland sucks.
Really?
I mean, talking about Memphis, Tennessee, I heard that's not. It's a house. It hasn't been really updated as far as the decor.
It's just where Elvis lived.
That's basically what it is. And if you're a fan of Elvis, that's fine. I would rather tour Prince's home or somebody that's got like a recording studio, basketball courts, maybe somebody famous like from Cribs. That is just an old colonial home, and it's on apparently beautiful grounds.
Sure.
But it's small, so they take you in little groups. and they tore you through the house, and you're just walking through someone's home.
Right. But it's Elvis's.
It's Elvis's home. That's exactly.
But it's still just saying, like, but when you get there in the end, you're like, okay, Elvis lived here. But there's no, it's like the Babe Ruth house in Baltimore, right? So you can be a massive baseball fan, and there's a Babe Ruth museum in Baltimore, fairly close to the stadiums, little dicey in the neighborhood, but it's the house that he was born in, I believe.
Correct.
And when you go, he was born in this particular house. You know, and so I get the attachment, but if you put it this way, if you took Babe Ruth out of the equation, you're like, why am I in this tiny ass house in this part of Baltimore?
But I think both of those, like, I don't like Elvis enough to go to Graceland, but I love that Babe Ruth museum.
Really?
I never knew he was from Baltimore, and then got put in the I don't know what you call them, where you put kids that the parents don't want them. Orphanage. Yeah, he was incorrigible.
Yeah,
so it's pretty. I thought it was pretty interesting stuff. And then he played minor league ball in Baltimore too.
But here's the thing: so you can take the Babe Ruth tour. To your point, you will get information that is in fact interesting about Babe Ruth's life and all that. But the house itself, like, why wouldn't we give the same information somewhere else?
Look, Kurt Cobain, his home in Aberdeen. People drive by that all the time. If someone says, "Do you want to walk in and take a look?" You go,
"It's Aberdeen, bro."
All right, it's an old Craftsman. Sure, I'll walk in there. It's a 2-bedroom home, and you walk in, and it's like any other Craftsman, and you walk around and go, "All right, well, okay." I mean,
I will say sometimes though you think something's going to be lame and it blows your way. I just remember years ago they had a competition to design the Vietnam Memorial that they're going to put in our nation's capital, Washington D.C. In that particular part of D.C., everything that's around you is impressive. Smithsonian, Lincoln Memorial, right? So, and in the end,
Iwo Jima Monument,
all of it, right? I mean, seriously, it's worth going. And I remember they announced it's going to be a wall with all the names of the soldiers that have passed as a result of fighting in that war. And I thought, that's how you're going to honor. You're just going to put up a wall and write some names in it. So we went down to see it. That thing blew me away. It is
powerful.
It is super powerful. You know, so I underestimated the impact this thing would have, because when you say it's a wall with names, I don't care who you are, that's not exciting. But when you get there, man, it stops you dead in your tracks, and it's crazy. We took the kids there 2 or 3 years ago, so they're 11 and 10, 10 and 9 maybe, and we dragged them all through D.C., and D.C.'s hot, man. So they're kind of pissing and moaning the whole time. I get it. But we did the wall, and I mean, it even hit them, because they had the questions like, wait a minute, all these people died? I said, yeah, if you're on this wall, every single person died. And so you look at the sheer enormity of it, and you could see it hit my kids. And my daughter asked me, like, did anyone survive? I said, most people survived. That's how many people died. So that's, sometimes you're blown away at the simplicity of something, you know?
Right.
A wall with names, and you're just like, good God, man.
I'm trying to think of the lamest tourist.
Although I will say one quick thing. My son's middle name would be my wife's uncle's first name, but he died in Vietnam. So when we went to the wall, we found him, and my son, it hit him. Like, that's where your middle name comes from. That's the guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, was it Hollywood Boulevard we were at? Is it?
It was, I mean.
Where the stars are. God, that was terrible.
I never been there.
It's fine. Picture of Times Square were 1/100th of its size, but these are like all the B actors, and that's kind of what it was. Like, the weather was nice. I had a good time there, but we had to walk through there to get to the little dirty bar that we discovered. Plus, the guy that owned the bar was dealing with weed. So it was important for us to get there, but we had to walk through these people. And, you know, Spider-Man, Thor, and
it was just a weird vibe.
There was even the Walk of Fame. Like, we're looking down, I'm like, okay, well, there's John Wayne. Actually, the one I got excited about, I hate to admit it, Kermit the Frog. That's the first one I yelled to Miles. Like, dude, Kermit the Frog has a star.
Oh, wait, I'll turn around. Let me look. We'll take a picture.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sorry, man.
I mean, good and bad, but I think Bourbon Street. Like, if you're having cocktails, but, like, honestly, like, if you don't drink alcohol, I wouldn't bother going down Bourbon. I've been on it at noon. It is awful.
Yeah, look, if you want the New Orleans experience as you picture it, that is absolutely the street. When you get a little older, just the smell of vomit and pee starts to get into you, and you don't want to be around 10,000 people crushed into a little area. It's like, I dragged my wife through there once, first time I took her down there, and she's like, well, I just want to see it. I said, you're not going to like it, but okay. And we just walked through, didn't stop at a bar, just walked through that little bit, and she's like, I don't need to see that again. Like,
I think as far as most major cities go, as far as the Seattle waterfront is concerned, whenever I do have visitors in town, they always want to go down there and you go down to near the
Miners Landing.
Miners Landing, and
They did a great job rebuilding that.
And the wheel,
Yes,
and all that stuff.
it's worth it now.
The aquarium's down there. I say it every time I'm down there. I should come down here more often. This is beautiful. The Myrtle Edwards Park, the views, the restaurants down there are good.
I feel like Myrtle Edwards and the market to me. I'm like that.
In between those two, if you make that, and you make that walk, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
But I feel bad, like with the Space Needle. I'm like, look, I'm going to take you because I understand that is our international symbol to the world. I get it. But guys, I'm going to take you. We're going to go up on an elevator. You're going to look out over Seattle. You're going to say that's cool. You're going to snap one picture, and you're not going to want to go back. There's nothing wrong with the Space Needle. It just is what it is.
So the reason
I'm trying to think the worst one I've seen.
Did you see Plymouth Rock? Somebody was saying.
Oh, yeah, Plymouth Rock sucks. It's tiny.
Right. How about the Liberty Bell? I'm sorry. It's the Liberty Bell.
Right. There's the history, but it's
I
like,
understand
it's a broken bell.
Yeah, it cracked.
And not because it was in a battle.
Right.
That'd be one thing.
No.
It cracked because they made a crappy bell. Gong, crack, but like we
Right,
kept it.
why is it
This is
celebrated?
a defective. This is the one you send back to Amazon, but we decided to keep it. So, I get it, and there is some nostalgia because I've heard about it my entire life, but I'm like, I'm looking at a broken bell.
Yeah.
I also sometimes get excited about stupid stuff.
Sure.
It's like when we were in Milwaukee, like Bernie Brewer, right? He used to always slide down into a giant mug of beer.
Yes.
Right? So not Miller, but there's another brewery that you can take a tour of. It's pretty fun, right? It's called like Lake Street or Lakefront. So we, during the day, we're like, we'll go over there and take the tour. So they do the tour, and they have they take you back where they're bottling stuff, and they have like the Laverne and Shirley thing happening.
I was going to ask.
It's very Milwaukee. And then they have Bernie the Brewer's, like his little ski chalet that he would start in and slide down. Now I'm like, no S, right? We've been on this tour for an hour. Now I'm like,
fired up.
That's the real one. And they're like, yeah, like we bought it when the stadium got rid of it. Then when you go upstairs, they have his original giant mug that he would slide into. You can see the smile on my face now. I was like, this is worth the tour. Like I was like, well, what about all the cool beer and how the process
I don't
works?
care.
But yeah, sugar. It's eating the yeast. I know it's beer. Anyhow, can we take pictures next to the cup?
Ted, I know you're going to hate me for this one, but to me it was Epcot. Granted, I was not of drinking age. So I was about
What's wrong with Epcot?
I was 14 years old and I went to Epcot.
Ted suddenly looks serious.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I like Epcot.
There's no rides. There's really nothing to do.
Epcot has the best rides.
What? Epcot in Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
What is the best ride? I swear to God, at that point in time, in 1985, they did not have whatever
Jesus
ride,
Christ,
whatever
man.
ride
Yeah.
we're talking
In 85, they probably just had that one slow ride in the giant ball.
Yes. It was
But
terrible.
they have Test Track out there, Soarin', the California ride.
Okay, I like
That's
that.
the only thing they've ever brought from California Adventure and put it in Florida. There's a couple other rides out there at Epcot. But even, you know what? The first time I went to Epcot, I was probably 19. We were not boozing. But just going from country to country, and they hire people that work in those countries, is really fun. Like when you go to Germany, they have a giant beer hall with like sausage, like an all-you-can-eat buffet with sausages and krauts.
See,
and
here's me,
pretzels.
just not impressed.
Oh, you were not impressed. My bad.
I was not impressed. I was like, get me out of this park. I want to go back to the Magical Kingdom.
Well, Norway used to have a little log ride in the back, but they got rid of it.
Okay.
Have you drank around the world?
I have not been back since before I was legal age. So I was 15, and I have not been back to Epcot.
How many countries does Epcot have? Nothing against Norway, but when you talk about exciting places to go, like other than maybe seeing the Northern Lights, I don't know that Norway is on anyone's list. Like, oh, dude.
Well, there's Mexico, Japan, China, England, Canada. The only one that's boring, just because we're American, is the United States one.
Well, yeah, we live here.
Try a burger and a Budweiser.
Did you hear what happened?
Whoa, I do this all the time.
Did you ever have it in Disney China?
No.
So they've been trying to, it's a successful park and all this stuff. They have the characters they bring in. All of a sudden, this little pony thing, this little girl, I don't know what the hell it is. But anyway.
A little girl pony thing.
I don't know if she's in a cartoon. I don't know how she became famous.
Okay. All right.
But she has taken over the park. Like, people only go to see this one girl. And so Mickey and Minnie, people don't care about them. Like, all the characters, like, Disney does not know how to react to this.
All right.
Because they've never had someone else kind of lead the charge as far as...
Take over Mickey?
the popularity of who they want to see. So all the rides, all the attractions, everything basically needs to be focused around this one character. It's never been in a movie, apparently, internationally.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's just this random chick, this random little girl. And she's a real girl. She looks like she's like 4 or 5. It's freaking bizarre. But that's why they
So wait a
go.
minute. Is she like a little actress? Does she do TV or
is it like Shirley Temple?
I don't know.
But the problem is, at some point
She's got to grow up.
Or they just right.
Or they
Mickey
just
Mouse
swap
stays
in.
the same age.
Right. Mascots don't age.
That is one good thing. How bad would they look if they did?
Okay, her name is...
Well, let's be honest. Harry the Husky be dead. He's a dog.
Her name is Lena
Sorry,
Bell.
Harry.
Lena Bell.
All right.
Lena Bell is the most popular character. She hasn't been in any Disney blockbusters or other star vehicles, but she has a far more cultural sway in China than any of the classic Disney characters. And they're saying that her success has bucked the Disney formula. The long-held belief was that the character of brands need stories to be successful, but in China, there's no backstory on Lena Bell. Her mom didn't get shot by a deer or whatever the hell goes on.
I don't know that's...
Lena Bell, right. But it's still a mascot.
Yeah.
But what is she from? I can even recognize the Disney characters, and I'm not a big Disney fan, man. I've never even heard of this thing. Girl, whatever.
Well, they have her in real life, too, so I don't know. Either way, the reason we asked what's the lamest tourist attraction you've been to, Benton Mountain is considered Japan's shortest natural mountain with a height of 6 meters and a diameter of under 60. It is located in the fertile paddy fields. Benton Mountain is the shortest mountain in Japan, one of the shortest in the world. It takes the average person how long to reach the summit of Benton Mountain?
3 minutes.
1 minute.
Oh.
It takes the average
What
person...
qualifies as a mountain?
1 minute. 10,000 people every year go there for that specific person to climb the mountain.
I would do that.
Or a 1 minute climb.
How tall is 6 meters?
About 18, 19 feet.
Maybe.
Oh, awesome. Call me old Summit Ted.
They got flowers and a wax tree there, whatever. It officially opens to tourists June 1st when they have a first climb of the New Year event organized by local nonprofits. Visitors who reach the top, the 6-meter summit, are rewarded with a proof of scaling certificate.
I want a Sherpa.
For a small fee.
I'm going to bring my crampons.
And they have
I want a 180-pound pack. Give it to a Sherpa.
They do cherry blossom festivals, wedding ceremonies. Benton is not only the shortest, but the safest mountain, they say, in Japan. Never been an accident or a missing person before.
A missing person.
It's a hill.
We can't find them.
They do say that, by comparison, Mount Fuji is 3,776 meters high compared to the 6 meters. But people then were also sharing some of the tourist attractions not worth the visit.
All right.
Multiple people say definitely Mount Rushmore.
I've heard that one.
Some huge, awe-inspiring sculpture, but it's so far away from the viewing area, it's actually tiny, and you need a telephoto lens to get an impressive, clear picture. Also, it's $20
Yeah, no thanks.
to stare at a rock for like 5 seconds. They say it's not one of the nation's finest monuments. It's pretty to see if you're driving through the forest, but if you stop at the actual spot,
Right.
it's not that great. Here's more. The Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. What a snooze fest. I love museums and historical sites, but there was nothing about the Alamo even remotely interesting to me.
Damn.
Okay. The CN Tower in Toronto. You went there?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Look, it's the same as the Needle. Keep in mind, you're about twice as high, and we're there with the kids, and we took the kids, but they're right. You're up there, there's a cool view. That's about it, man.
It says, lived here for 20 years in Toronto, and I went up to the top with a friend who was visiting from out of town. The view is not worth the price, to be honest. The glass floor is way overhyped. However,
it's not.
If you insist on going, I highly suggest going during sunset, so you can see at least a good sunset. Stonehenge is just a pain in the arse all around. The traffic bottlenecks because of the road structure. It also gets slowed right down by people looking as they drive past or stopping to turn into the farm instead of going to the roundabout and a car park. I'll tell you the worst one to drive on, the road to Hama.
Jesus, dude, that is a waste of time.
I don't know what. I've walked down the waterfalls.
How do
you
they
can find
sell that?
plenty of waterfalls in Hawaii if you're there. I don't know.
Yeah, but we did the same thing.
You're crawling down that
Because you're in Hawaii and everybody does it.
And we lost our entire day.
I'd rather be at the pool.
Yes.
Without
Absolutely.
question, I'd rather be opening my mouth and taking in the urine of the 6-year-old beside me, swimming with my mouth open, than take the road to Hana at any time. The Santa Monica Pier in L.A. and the Navy Pier in Chicago. Horrible tourist traps. Just a lot of walking with no payoff.
Oh. I mean, I guess it is a tourist trap, but I like the Navy Pier. There's a Billy Goat Cafe. You get on the little cruises that go up and down the architecture tour. That's where it starts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you can have a couple pops.
Leaning Tower of Pisa. The tower's fine, but it's absolutely surrounded by tourists all putting their hands up, pretending they're holding it up. It's annoying as hell. You can't even take a picture of the tower without 20 people all doing the same exact pose in your shot. Also, Yellowstone. Full day of driving and sitting in traffic. The tourists are absolute worst. They stop their cars in the middle of one-lane roads just to take a picture of a bison or try to pet a bear. It's annoying. It's such a sacred place, and people are trashing it. Makes me sad. And finally, the Prague astronomical clock. Everyone gathers around it at the top of the hour because the figurines on the clock are supposed to do something special. They don't. I barely even remember what they do. It's very underwhelming and not worth the wait and the huddle in front of the clock. I've heard the same thing about Four Corners.
Oh, down in Arizona or
In
New
the middle
Mexico.
of nowhere.
But I mean, think about where you're at, right? I mean, it's desolate to begin with. It just happens to be where the four corners of these states meet. And what was it, like 10, 15 years ago, they realized they were off by about 15 miles.
Or something,
So
yeah.
all those, because my parents did it years ago on a cross-country trip, and it's one of those things they were always proud of. We were standing in all four states. Then I found out you weren't. You were like 20 miles away from that.
Still to come, the return of your guess is as good as mine. In categories today, we've got the best cities for staycations and the best states for foodies. And we've got your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that human connection means the world. By connecting with one another, we know we're not alone. By connecting, we feel what others feel. We breathe better, laugh easier, and feel healthier. At Regents, connection is at the heart of everything we do. It inspires our commitment to our communities and to you. Here, health isn't just a you thing, it's a we thing. Regents Blue Shield. Together we health.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Gatorade. Studied, tested, proven. With over 50 years in the making, it's scientifically researched and game-tested to help replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Buy 2 Gatorade 28-ounce bottles for $5 at 7-Eleven today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Categories coming up, the best cities for staycations and the best states for foodies with your guess is as good as mine. But first, time for a few emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
As we jump right into birthdays, guys, my wife and I love the show. We've relocated to Colorado from Washington a year ago and listen to the podcast on Odyssey every day. I'd like to give a birthday shout out to my son, Riker. He is 1 year old. Can we get a kid sandwich? Coach Ted giving him a pep talk about almost being able to walk, and maybe a dad joke or two. We love you, you ornery little guy from Dad, Mom, and Sister Sophia.
Fish challenge!
All right. I don't know the ages, but one, seems like you should be roaming around with one of those thing like your grandma has, right? Like a walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, those wheels are moving. Here's the main thing, kid. Hear my voice. As soon as you start walking, just run away. Yeah, make your parents get some exercises. It's in your blood. It's in your instincts. Run.
Mm-hmm. It is in their instincts.
It's shocking how quickly they just take off. Poof.
Yeah. Okay. Here are a couple of baby jokes.
What fruit do twins love?
What fruit do twins
Pears.
love?
Pears.
Good work, Steve.
Thank you. What kind of keys are sweet?
Kiwis.
No.
Damn it.
Cookies.
Cookies.
And why won't peanut butter tell you a secret?
It's all jammed up.
He's afraid you'll spread it, Ted.
Dummy. Today is my daughter Savannah's birthday. She is 16 years old. Her mom and I want to wish her a very happy, sweet 16. So proud of the young lady she is becoming. Keep letting your curiosity and joy propel you forward. So could Savannah get a pep talk from Coach Ted on how to survive out on the roads and maybe a fish sandwich medley? Thanks, guys. That from the luckiest dad.
Can I get
a fillet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Yeah.
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
All right, 16, you got a new license. Your parents aren't going to want to hear this, but you're going to run into something. Like, it just happens. Everybody, I don't care if you're 16 or 26. First year of driving, you're bound to run into something. Second of all, when you do, stick around. Third of all, I don't care if she's your best friend. You don't need her in the car with you, and do not look at your phone. You can text them when you get back, or if you're that worried about it, pull over.
Guys, could you please wish Zach and Danica a very happy 21st birthday? They're the best kids any parents could ask for, and we love them tons. So how about a Wendy Williams, burp fart, a what the heck is that, bro, and the captain, wishing them a very happy 21st birthday. Love the show, guys, and thanks a lot. That from Mom and from Dad.
Oh my God, what the is that, bro?
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Happy 21st birthday. Hoping it's a good one. I don't remember my 21st birthday, but I remember Crackles. Snap, Crackle, and Pop fame. The old SS Guppy was in the Suez Canal when Crackle got a little too drunk. Sparky what was almost an international incident. He kept screaming, "Who wants to see the Sphinx?" Then he dropped his pants and showed everyone his penis, draped in the hood of a skinned cobra. The problem is, one of the people he flashed was a South Korean diplomat who had no sense of humor. But after a series of negotiations, Please don't interrupt. I'm regaling a story, Mike. But after a series of negotiations, South Korea has agreed to continue selling Rice Krispies, but only if they only snap and pop. No more crackle. Crunch Bangs.
Good day, brethren. Today we want to wish Ryan a happy whatever age he is. He's a great guy, loves everyone, and is pretty decent golfer who has a quick reaction from a left-handed golfer. Almost hit him in the head, but he was ahead of me when we were teeing off. How about your penis is too small? Coach Ted on golf strategy and Miles with some dad golf jokes. Thanks, guys. That from the Elk Plain Drifter, Amy Jean, and the Boyle and Biscuit crew.
Man, I love you. You guys got too many damn nicknames down there. The Boyle and Biscuit crew. All right. Golfer, huh? Well, listen. Everybody knows the old saying, drive for show, putt for dough. But seriously, can you chip within 50 yards? Right, if you're a decent golfer, what John Daly was saying it the other day. Everybody on tour can hit a 5-iron. Everybody can hit a driver. Can you pitch and putt? That's where you're going to make strides in your golf game, and that's where you're going to save strokes. I'm telling Miles, every weekend he goes golfing. And I said, well, you focus on pitching this weekend. For a change, will you do that for
Thank
Coach?
You. Yes. By the way, my buddy Charlie got a hole-in-one yesterday. Mm-hmm. First one ever, which was cool to watch.
I think he owes us. I think he owes all of us
a steak dinner.
I was going to say a couple cocktails.
All right, here's some golf jokes for you, man. Okay, what's the difference between a golfer and a skydiver?
Golfer and a skydiver.
I don't know. Skydiver has a better chance of landing in the fairway. All right. Why do golf announcers whisper?
Why do they whisper?
Because they don't want to wake up the people who are watching golf. While playing golf today, guys, I hit 2 good balls. 2 good balls.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, stepped on a rake. And here's a golf joke. A married couple is lying in bed talking about their future. The wife says, babe, if I die, will you ever marry again? Husband says, of course not. Wife says, well, I think you would. Husband says, all right, fine. I probably will. Wife says, will you let her sleep in our bed? Husband says, yeah, I mean, probably, I guess. I'm not going to buy a new bed. Wife said, would you even let her use my golf clubs? And the husband says, hell no, she's left-handed. Yeah, what else we got here?
She's left-handed.
Guys, can I get a birthday shout-out to my best friend, Mike? He's been a great friend for many years, an amazing father of 2 boys. Can I get a what the F is that? A penis is too small, and a fish sandwich medley. Thanks, guys. That from Alex.
Oh, my God! What the is that, bro?
A filet of fish sandwich.
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I want a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Ooh, yeah.
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some pure relish in the morning. At noon, and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? Though you don't want a fish sandwich?
All the guys, birthday wishes go out to Mark. He's 48 today. He's given us many smiles, pranks, and love over the years. One of my proudest moments is calling him my son. Everything stops when your program is on, especially for Big Dummy. Please do a bong rip, and the Dirty Germans talking about making pizza, and maybe a tribute to him being a barbecue master of the ribeye steak. Love and all that stuff from your mom. Ah, boy.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to get a pizza from the Dirty Germans, it involves only 2 sausages.
Yeah, so the funny thing is it's a different pizza. It has a white sauce. It's also, we love to knead the bread, throw it up in the air, and stuff it full of meat.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm making a stromboli.
Sounds delicious. All the bitches, can I give a birthday shout out to my boo Jason? He's 52 years old, the geezer that he is. And I'm sure he would love the Dirty Germans and a happy Chinooka. Thank you. That from longtime listener Danielle.
Happy Chinooka.
Yeah, oddly enough, Chinooka is the sound you'll make when I surprise you from the backside.
Chinooka!
Yeah, you've been there for it.
Chinooka!
And finally, guys, please wish my wife Kim a happy birthday from me. We've been married for 26 years. She is still a hottie, looking fine at 59. See attached picture. Cheers, guys. That from Jim, your loyal Pasco podcaster. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Thank you, Mom. Okay, time for a very special announcement.
Oh, look at that. He remembered.
The Men's Room World Tour.
He's on it. Told you.
Also, we should get a contestant in line for your guess is as good as mine at 206-803-ROCK. The Men's Room World Tour with a brand new stop, a brand new location. Ladies and gentlemen, join us Saturday, the 22nd of June for a Men's Room World Tour stop at Lime in Kirkland.
Nice.
We will be there with a brand new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Ted's going to be in a dunk tank, and I will have my penis grab booth available as well.
Dunk tank?
Maybe some sausages from Uli's world famous sausage. If you haven't tried the Men's Room beer brought, chance to try it in Lime. Perhaps the Men's Room roasted red salsa from San Juan Salsa Company.
Yes.
I'm doing this all off the top of my head because I don't have the details in front of me. So if I'm wrong, you can blame me. All
right.
This is what I got. So we're going to be at Lime in Kirkland. Ted, you said you've been there a number of times.
Bunch of times, man. Great little bar. They got, I've been in there watching sports. I think they have a little stage where they do music.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Should be fun. And honestly, let's get on the east side. Come on, people.
Man. Saturday, sunny, Kirkland. We'll be there from 2 till 4, Saturday, 22nd.
2 to 4 on a Saturday?
Yeah, man.
That's a good pregame.
It's going to be a good time.
Yes, it is.
Right? People might go out, do something later. Cut 2 to 4. You're ours.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see you at Lime in Kirkland, Saturday, the 22nd. From 2 until 4, another Men's Room World Tour stop. So it's going to be a good time. We'll just pick one. We'll pick up a phone. We'll get a contestant there.
You want to just grab?
Yeah. Just grab whoever. Just like the grabbing booth at Lime and Kirkland.
Hola! Who is this? What is your name?
Eric.
Eric. Welcome
Eric.
to the program.
Eric, welcome to your guess. This is as good as mine. Yes, all the things, don't cuss and all that. All right, Eric, you know how the game is played. You pick from one of two categories. We've got for you today the cities with the best staycations, and for foodies out there, the best states for foodies, as they say that summer is the foodie season. So, Eric, do you want to go the best states for foodies or the best cities for a staycation?
Let's go best place for vacation. Staycation.
All right, Eric. Our friends at Wallet Hub, they used a number of different metrics, including things to do, like having maybe some good world-famous attractions, amusement parks in your backyard, restaurant costs, parks, spas, massage costs, summer warm weather, and they put those all together to come up with the 10 best places to have a staycation. Eric, you know how the game is played. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out.
All right, let's go.
You can name a state, dude.
You name a city.
City.
Name a city on
Just start naming them. Orlando, Florida.
Eric, that's number 1 on the list by far. Walt Disney World in your backyard.
Well, that's what
Studios.
they say it.
I know, but that shouldn't count.
SeaWorld, it's all right there.
But think about it. People that live in Orlando probably go to Disney World less frequently than anyone else. But if you say, look, man, we're off for the week, we got kids, that's the time you're actually going to do it.
And not only that, man, when you talk about people coming into town, yes, we can take them on top of the Space Needle. It is not cheap. It is not ridiculously expensive. Everyone and their brother's going to want to go to Disney World. If you go, that's $150. Space Needle ain't $150. You know,
but it's also not all day.
Right, exactly.
Maybe with dinner.
All right, Eric, you've nailed number 1, 61%. That's the highest score available for the best city with a staycation. But you're on the right tip as far as those type of towns are concerned, so to speak.
Let's go with New York City.
New York City, not on the list. Believe it or not.
Probably it's too expensive, man. I would think somewhere like Washington, D.C., because almost all the monuments, with the exception of like one, and all those museums are free. The National Zoo is free. So as far as cost goes, It's free. It has to have a lot of spas because you got all these congressional people that are there.
All right. Well, let's go Los Angeles.
You want to go Los Angeles, California? Not on the list.
See, I thought L.A. would make it because of Disneyland.
I did too. Not on the list.
I would guess maybe Vegas. I don't know. Cheap figures in, but...
Yep. Let's go Vegas is my next one.
Vegas is number 4. So you've got number 1 Orlando and number 4 Las Vegas, Nevada. Others are bigger cities. Other cities are on the water.
Maybe Chicago.
Some are on an island. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, there's a hint. An island.
You live there.
Hawaii.
Yes, what is the name of the city in Hawaii that we're thinking of?
Let's go Honolulu.
That is number 2. That's the one that makes the most sense to me. You live in Honolulu, Hawaii. Where are you going to travel to that's going to be better than that?
Right. And you save money going other places, but right.
But if you live there, you already know the price. So, I mean, you're not paying for the flight. You're not paying for all of that. You're basically living in Hawaii, and that's a great place for a staycation. These are the 10 best cities for staycations. You are right so far, Eric, with Orlando, Florida, Honolulu, Hawaii at number 2, and Las Vegas, Nevada at number 4.
Let's go with Reno.
Reno?
No, I'm not allowing you to guess that.
Okay.
Maybe, I'm telling you, D.C., maybe Chicago.
I was thinking Chicago.
What are you thinking?
Miami.
Not on the list.
Really?
Wow.
I would have thought Miami would be.
There is one other Florida destination on the list. You guys want to give a stab at it?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa is number 5 as far as staycations are concerned, based on cost, beaches, amusement parks, busch gardens.
What number was that?
Oh, God, right.
Tampa, Florida, number 5.
Tampa Bay, wow.
Yes. There is an Ohio town that has a ton of roller coasters.
Oh, what is it?
Cedar Point?
Cincinnati, Ohio is number 3 on the list.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, are the best, and they say price is a big deal.
Well, Mike, you were just there. How would you rate that?
It was a ton of fun, dude. I loved it. I want to go back. That was a great time.
Okay. All right,
Ted, you mentioned Chicago, Illinois?
Yeah.
That is number 6 on the list.
Chi-town.
Okay. Others, number 10, no one's going to get this, Tucson, Arizona. I think that might be a little bit hot in the summer, but they put that at number 10.
A little bit, yeah.
I wondered if Arizona was on there. I was thinking Phoenix or Scottsdale.
I was going to say Phoenix or Scottsdale.
Give us another state.
Louisiana.
Okay.
New Orleans.
New Orleans is number 9. Georgia.
Atlanta
is number 8. And California.
San Fran.
No.
San Diego.
San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Your top 10 best cities for U.S. staycations. Tucson, Arizona, 10. New Orleans, Louisiana. At number 9, Atlanta is 8, San Diego 7, 6 is Chicago, Tampa 5, Vegas 4, 3 is Cincinnati, Honolulu 2, and your number 1 best city for a staycation. If you happen to live in Orlando, Florida, just stay right there. All right, Coda will drink a toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at AmericanStandardAir.com/electrification.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, count on this. We'll drink a toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. According to reports, disease and bad weather are causing a global orange juice shortage.
Disease? What does... Oh, bad weather affects the growth of them, and then people drink orange juice when they're sick, right?
Well, I think it's also disease of the
oranges.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't think it's people chugging orange juice because they have a cold.
That's where my mind went.
I mean, I respect it, yeah. In that case, there's a ginger ale and saltine shortage as well.
Have a Fig Newton. That's all I have left. They're affecting my smoothie game, man. I use orange juice as a base. And then my son, this is how I figured out my son was awake yesterday. So the wife and I got up early, start working outside, all right? I made myself a big-ass blender full of smoothie. But because there's banana in it, I'm not making this up, I keep my particular cup inside because all the bees are out.
Yep.
And bananas are going to make them crazy. I'm already going to deal with them. I don't feel like getting stoned. Go back in the house about an hour later, take a sip of my smoothie. I look at the blender. It's about 85% gone. Walk to my son's bedroom. I said, you know how I know you're awake? It's like, how? With his empty-ass glass sitting there. I'm like, you drank my smoothie. He goes, well, it was good. All right, well, there's
Do you
that.
add veggies or just
fruit? Who are you talking?
Fruit and orange. Well,
strawberry, banana, orange juice, vanilla yogurt.
Well, Jesus Christ. I mean, that sounds delicious.
It is.
It is. You throw a handful of spinach in there. One, you're never going to even taste it. And two, you're going to get all your vitamins away.
You told me this last week, but here's the thing. No, because here's the thing about spinach, people. People that like vegetables will convince you that if you add it into something else, you won't taste it. And so far, that has proven 100% incorrect for me.
I don't even like vegetables. I don't like spinach. I don't like the taste of spinach. I don't do that for salads or anything like that. I literally cannot taste it in the...
I will give it a try.
So you're not, like, if I gave you a green smoothie that I blended, you'd be like, ugh, get it away from me.
On the flip side, I love spinach.
Really?
I'm with you, Miles. If I had a spinach salad,
I'm good.
I'd take it every day of the week.
So weird to me.
Raw.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a big bag in my house right now.
Look, I understand that people like spinach. I have no problem that people like spinach, but haven't tasted spinach. I'm like, how?
So I kind of lucked into it because I used to go to this place down the street from our old building.
Okay.
And you like pick out a bowl of lettuce or spinach, and then they add toppings. Well, I was so dumb. I was just like, why isn't everybody getting this really green lettuce? It's obviously better. And then, I mean, I must have been doing it for 5 months, and somebody was like, spinach salad guy. And I'm like, no, it's lettuce. And they're like, no, that's spinach. I guess I got it mistakenly and started eating a ton of spinach.
This is really good lettuce.
Why am I pooping so much?
A new study suggests working out at night is best for lowering your blood sugar.
Huh. All right.
Which... Okay.
I think the problem is a lot of people are tired. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike, I know a lot of people like that too. Like, I mean, going for a walk or something's one thing, but like, yeah, if you get a good lift in, like, you might be kind of pumped up afterwards.
Yeah, I can't go to bed after I lift at night. I have to do it in the morning. Usually I'm too lazy to lift in the morning, so I just don't work out.
And we come full circle.
Yes.
I know. Mostly diet,
If I don't go in the morning, it's not going to happen.
Now, I know. People are like, why don't you just go in the evening? It's like, because I'm off work.
Because I'm going to get a beer.
Well, and also we get done at 6. Most of us get home around 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's like, I still got to make dinner. I got to walk the dog. I don't want to put a workout in.
Look, I've been on this push-up challenge with a couple of buddies, for about 3 weeks now. But the kids gotten into it. And the one night, while it's annoying, it's also handy because the days I just don't feel like doing it, he drops in front of me and starts doing it.
How many are you doing?
Well, we just wanted to get up to 20 because we said, look, man, we're all in our 50s. So a couple of weeks ago, they're saying, like, look, the average guy, quote unquote, should be able to do 20.
Yeah.
And none of us were convinced that we could. And I've hit it a few times. I'm hovering around 17, but getting up to the 20. So I put in 20 on Saturday. I was quite proud. My kid dropped down and did 21. I'm just like, I don't know.
Just out of spite, let me get one more.
I don't know who's going to adopt you, but at least you'll be in shape.
Are you up on your toes or are you down on your knees?
I'm up on my toes, dude. You got to do the right form. Like, we're both doing that. I'm like, if you're on your knees, to me, you're not doing anything.
You are. And then also you can do till fatigue on regular ones and then do them on your knees, and that'll help you build up to getting more regular ones.
Really?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, well, somebody told me that 3 goddamn weeks ago.
Well, I feel like more and more studies are showing it's not necessarily the number of reps, but it's almost like an amount of time. Do as many as you can in 30 seconds, sort of a thing.
Ah, okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Now we're going to time each other.
Bad news, fellas. Getting tattoos may increase your risk of blood cancer, according to a new study.
Oh, I'm dead. I mean,
I'm alive.
You're toxic.
Between all of my tattoos and smoking, I should be dead tomorrow.
Mine are sold, they're green like your grandfather's from World War II. Like, what is that?
My grandfather's got so blurred, I couldn't even read it. I didn't realize it was one of those old school ones that was a heart and had a banner that said mom on it.
What did it look like it said?
Dude, it was it looks like a bruise. It looked like a bruise by the end of his life.
I do feel bad for the guys that got tattoos way back. Somehow, even though the ink started black, it ends up green. Yeah, and like you said, they just bled into all the fat and everything else under your skin. It looks like garbage.
Can you get them retouched? Can you get them touched up?
You can absolutely get them touched up, but a lot of the guys that are so old that their things turn green and went to crap, they're like in their late 60s and 70s now. I don't think they want to be bothered with it. And no one's been able to read what their tattoo has said for the last 50 years.
Miles, you going to touch yours up?
Maybe one day, yeah. I've been thinking about it.
All right.
They don't look great.
I'll say it'd at least take 20 minutes.
Yeah. I can see you turning into a tattoo guy.
Miles?
That would be
Miles does not strike me as tattoo guy.
If I feel like if he got tattoo, that normally means that something really bad has happened in your life, like a midlife crisis or something. Like if you would like tattoos, then you like tattoos. But I've gotten a couple of them in my life. But if I was really into it, I would continue to do it.
Right. You're waiting for something tragic to happen.
I would do that before I would buy a sports car.
Yeah,
I'd rather get a tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo guy.
Yeah, exactly. I just need to have something that I know is something that I want on my body for a reason. So when I know that thing, I'll do it.
What's the closest design that you've ever come to tattooing on yourself there, Ted?
Corgi on his back.
Man, I don't know that I've ever gotten that close to really getting one.
Miles is going to grab this and I'll sneeze.
Exactly.
That's where.
I'm going to get a tramp stamp that says it's a slippery when wet sign.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Tattoos are one of those things that, you can either give it or you can take it. Some people find it attractive. Some people find it unattractive. And you know what? It goes all across the board that there are things that we all find universally attractive and universally unattractive. And in fact, there's an entire list.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 qualities men think are turn-offs in attractive women. How about the 5-alarm clinger? It's fine if you want to show affection and be around me, but I don't need you hanging off of me like an extra appendage. Give me some space. I suppose it's okay if you want to have a sleepover, but don't even think about draping yourself over me like a human quilt. Unless, of course, I've skinned you and turned you into a human quilt.
God damn.
Things are getting a little dark there for VD.
They are getting very dark.
Have you met the guy? That's his regular conversation.
That's fact. So these are 10 things that men think are...
His personality's like his coffee. Dark. No creamer.
10 qualities men think are turn-offs in women. Number 10 being closed-mindedness.
Well,
being unwilling to
think that
consider
goes either way.
Yeah.
Perspectives or experiences, yeah.
Anybody.
Having a penis, for me.
Right. Oh, is that's your turn-off?
Yes, for a woman. Listen, I really do like it.
Especially when it's bigger than yours.
Yeah. That's the main
Darn
thing.
it.
I really love that you love to chug beer, watch football all day, and listen to great music, but I just can't
get past her penis.
Do you think that would be the best? Is that good?
What, watch football and chug beer all day?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I know a lot of buddies who they have their significant others and play golf with them.
No, I don't want to play golf with you. But if I'm sitting if I'm in my home and we are tracking the same way, cool. If I just want to go out with my buddies, you don't necessarily.
They just want a couple hours out with their friends.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I like the idea of you sitting around watching games with us, but I don't know if I need you to be as intense as I am about sports.
Oh, don't act like me. Don't act like me. That's for sure. Let me be the loud a-hole, all right? Don't act like me.
You also do need to have your own things. You do plenty together, but you need those things. It's like, I'm going to go do my thing.
By the way, Mike, you want to come over and watch cricket? As you know, she loves football and baseball, so it's the only sport I can watch alone now.
He hates cricket.
Right? Starts watching goddamn F1, I'm going to lose my ass. Like, this was my thing. Sorry, Gregor.
Oh, dang it. Oh, no. Number 9, a lack of confidence. It's okay to be shy, but men draw the line when it turns into being overly self-critical or insecure.
Well, it just gets old. Everybody's got insecurity. It's fine. You don't have to wear it on your sleeve.
Right. Don't let it be,
that's all.
Don't let it be debilitating.
Don't let that be your personality.
Yes.
And everything's not worth crying over.
And the thing is, we've never told you how ugly you look in that outfit. Every time you ask us, we say you look fantastic.
Yeah. Like, you cry so often. Like, when is there an emergency?
Right. I'm not going to dive into that one.
Yeah, I sound horrible. Stop crying.
Damn. You dropped your ice cream on the sidewalk. Stop crying.
Yeah, right? Like, Sephora will have the makeup you want next time.
Oh, dang it. We'll try Ulta. Damn. Selfishness. Again, these are 10 qualities that men think are turnoffs in women.
But women love that in a guy.
They really do.
Love a selfish guy.
It's how we succeed.
Yeah.
You grab one more fry and I'm cutting that hand off.
Oh, damn.
You know how these lists are. It's like, here's what men find unattractive in a woman. It's like, I find this unattractive in everybody.
Yeah, you can flip this and it would be the same list.
Absolutely. Poor communication skills. Yet again, something that pretty much everybody finds as a turnoff.
I don't like having to interview you and pry information out of you to find out what's wrong.
Again, why are you crying? Where did you want?
Dad, I'm fine.
Right, where did you want to go? You need to voice this.
Why did you tell me everything I didn't ask, but when I do ask, you don't want to tell me?
I'll go wherever you want to go to eat.
Is this about the makeup, or it feels like this might be bigger than the makeup? You're just using the makeup as the conduit here.
Yeah, fine. We'll just get pizza then. I don't want pizza.
You know
just
what?
said you'll take whatever.
And you're right. That bitch at work does suck. Can we stop talking about it?
Yeah, it is personal. She doesn't like you. Yes, we know.
I know. I don't find her attractive with those giant fake boobs.
But I do like her boobs. But her face.
But they're fake. Yours are real.
That's why they're so long.
You're right. She is ugly and unattractive. Who would want to sleep with her?
I always love the look at what she's wearing. Like one step ahead of ya.
Right. All right. Fine, I will. 10 qualities that people find are to be turnoffs. A lack of empathy.
Well, sure.
I feel like these are all things that once they start displaying these behaviors, that's pretty much the sign that the relationship's over. Lack of empathy. Stop crying.
Yeah. Some people too are just so wrapped up with themselves. They just can't help it. You might be going through something traumatic and telling them, but they don't care. They'll start telling some story about themselves. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it's fine, but you're right. I'm probably not going to stay in a relationship with that person or a friendship.
Right. Oh, that's great. Now we're talking about you. Okay, fun. I was just telling you what I was feeling, but okay. Yeah. I don't get it. Negativity.
Well,
yeah.
Who doesn't like a negative person? Other than everyone I've ever met.
Yeah. Jealousy shows up on the list.
Yeah.
These are qualities that men find to be turnoffs in women.
Well, jealousy ruins any relationship.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have dated someone as good looking as me.
I don't think it's bound to happen, baby.
Come on, baby, you know.
I'm a celebrity, honey.
Right.
You knew I was sexy.
Very.
I also, man, I don't want to sit at a table at a restaurant and listen to, like, her and her friend judge every girl that walks in.
Oh, my God. Like,
just leave it alone.
Why do you care?
And it's uncomfortable.
You picked Joey's.
There's a guy coming in here with it.
This was your call. You knew what you were getting when you walked to the door.
Oh, no. A lack of ambition.
Yeah.
What?
I think that drives me crazier almost than anything.
Nobody wants the lump on the couch.
No.
Lump on the couch. Oh, Jesus. Not when you describe her like that.
Lump.
Here's my better half, the lump on the couch.
We just call it a lumpy for short.
This Halloween, lump on the couch.
Lump on the couch. I'm not saying that you got to go make the Forbes list, but it's like, have some sort of drive. Have something that you want to do, right?
Yes. Even if it's just a hobby.
Right. And it's 2024. We're both going to need jobs.
That's right. Yeah, no kidding.
I'm bringing home the bacon. You're bringing home the frying pan. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bacon I'm bringing home is just the microwave stuff. You want thick cut? You need to get a job. Peppered? Job.
Oh, Pepper, you need to work 2 jobs.
Over dependence.
Again, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what kids are for.
Right. I don't mind us leaning on each other, but yet again, it's just help out just a little bit.
Well, that's why they call it leaning on someone, and then they have a different term called carrying someone.
I think, too, like, obviously, the first few months of any relationship's kind of going to be like that. But you're right. After a while, it's like, well, like, what did you do before you dated me? Go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to go. I still want to go sit in the garage, sit in Brett's garage and drink a beer.
Right.
I do like Miles's line. What would you do if I wasn't there to call?
Yeah, whatever your answer is, do that.
Right.
Stop crying.
By the way, baby, Ted says stop crying.
If I was dead, what would you do?
Other than celebrate and dance.
Right.
Great.
And
you know what?
Jeff.
You do, my buddy.
Jeff.
Damn it.
What would you do if I wasn't here, Jeff?
We've already talked about it.
We've made the agreement.
Yes, we know.
Jeff's like Sting. He practices tantric sex.
My work wife. Yeah, I know what that means.
Jeff's staying single just in case you die. He's waiting.
Jeff's also not above homicide.
No, he's not. And then this is the number one quality that men thinks is are a turnoff when it comes to women. No drum roll, Steve?
I need the sound.
Need the sound?
Sound?
Got the soundboard?
How is it not playing? It's playing.
Damn it.
Ted's making me... See, Ted's sabotaging me because he wants my wife.
Dishonesty. He's waiting in the way.
Yeah. First date for all of us.
Dishonesty shows up on there, which, what do you know? Shocker.
Yeah.
People don't like dishonesty.
No, I only date jealous liars. Like, to me, that makes everything great.
Police in Texas managed to find a stolen car.
Sucks. I lied.
Why are you crying? Did your food so bad?
I love that you cry so much. Police in Texas managed to find a stolen car, and you won't believe the quote-unquote celebrity who stole it, Miles.
Who was the celebrity who stole someone's car?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thanks. Our headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, have we made it to drinking time?
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
I think if we can just really focus on, the mission and what matters and what we're all trying to collectively do and make this a better place, then we can be more effective.
Dental Sound Bites, created for dentists by dentists.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
I really think a lot of it is just honing in on what your natural interests are, starting small with that too in a more realistic capacity, and then just growing from there. And your passions will lead you.
Ooh, okay. Wait a second.
Right? There you go. Soundbite.
Yes, that was good. Okay, we're going to grab that.
Dental sound bites, created for dentists by dentists.
Do things that make you happy. And that's my drop the mic moment.
I love that.
Dental sound bites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Great time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we head to the Deutschland because we're toasting Mr. Klaus Schmidt of Berlin, Germany. Now, Klaus, he decided to rob a bank armed with a handgun, and is played out like a standard bank robbery. He walks in, slips the teller a note that's demanding cash. All the while, of course, explaining that he's prepared to use his gun, blah, blah, blah. Well, one of the tellers finally asked him if he needed a bag for all the cash, and Klaus responded, and I quote, "You're damn right, it's a real gun." Keep on, she said, "Do you need a bag for the cash?" And his response was, "You're damn right, it's a real gun." That's when it occurred to the tellers that Klaus was actually deaf. And with this new revelation, the teller sounded the alarm, which notified the police. All the while, Klaus was none the wiser. He was, in fact, arrested when the police showed up. So he's a deaf dude. He was hoping no one would figure that out. And once they realized he can't hear anything, they just set off the alarm. You know, and it's ringing. There's just no lights, so he doesn't know. Cops showed up, arrested him. Now, oddly enough, in a quick twist, Klaus later sued the bank for abusing his disability. Yeah, he did not win that case. But we drink. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, you beautiful bastards.
Hola. Both of those things are true. All right, Anthony, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of three stories. Today, we bring you the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's go with drugs today.
I say that every day, and my wife shoots me down, man.
Let's do drugs today?
Yeah, let's do drugs today, babe. Once again, like, no.
She does them with me.
Although she did kind of hurt myself a little bit yesterday, so she gave me some drugs to take care of it. And she goes, look, normally you're supposed to take 2. It's just an offhand comment by her. But she goes, normally you take 2. I think you should take 4 because you've done so many drugs. I was like, okay.
Sure.
You're not wrong. All right, we go to Connecticut, where a family is feeling grateful that no one inside of their home was hurt when a man police say was driving under the influence of drugs slammed into their home shortly after 5 p.m. Now, cell phone video shows the moments after the accident. Joseph Torres said, quote, I actually heard a loud crash when he hit the first pole. Then I immediately ran to the end of the corner, and I see him roll up the hill, hit the porch, then reverse, and then total the car behind him. 20-year-old recalled the chaotic scene when police said a man high on drugs came around a corner, hit a utility pole, then slammed into the front of the home. Torres lives in the house with his girlfriend's family. Quote, I can't believe he did something like that. And not only that, but he kept going. He kept hitting the house. Even after that, he kept on trying to drive. As soon as I saw him at a stop, I opened his door and I immediately removed the suspect from his car. Afterwards, Torres said the suspect tried to flee the scene with a passenger. Now, the porch, the front steps, the lawn, and the front railing, all damaged. Police say the driver of the car did not have proper documentation, including insurance or registration. And also, he was high on drugs, which is the real problem. The question is, what did this guy get high on before slamming into a house repeatedly and then trying to flee the scene? Was he on heroin? Was he on meth? Was he on crack or was he on mushrooms? Heroin, meth, crack, or mushrooms? What was this guy high on when he slammed into a house repeatedly?
Connecticut is a who's who of drug use, man. They've got everything under the sun up there.
That's the thing. They don't say what city it is, but if you go to something like Stamford, Connecticut, like, name it.
Yeah, Connecticut's got a ton of drugs. With that said, I'm going to go old school crack there, Anthony.
I'm thinking about mushrooms.
I'm going to go mushrooms. Okay,
Yeah.
Ted?
I'm going to go with methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine.
We're going to find out what this guy was on. Was it heroin, meth, crack, or mushrooms next?
That was a tease.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With an American Standard heat pump system, the future of heating and cooling your home is already here. Bringing constant comfort to your home, American Standard heat pumps are energy efficient, reliable, and ready for tomorrow, today. Plus, making the upgrade from your traditional furnace or AC unit is easier than ever before with home energy offers, rebates, and tax credits. Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification. American Standard, built to a higher standard.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories drugs on profile this. We got a family in Connecticut happy that no one was hurt as a driver who was on drugs basically slammed into their porch, slammed into their home pole, kept driving into their home. The thing is about this guy, he was on drugs. Question is, was he on heroin, meth, crack, or on mushrooms?
And Anthony, that is the question that we posed to you. Let us start with the Ted Smith. You went old school, you just went with the old meth. It was not methamphetamine.
Okay.
Miles Montgomery, you went with the old crack cocaine.
I did.
So that leaves you, Anthony. You went with shrooms.
Come on.
No, you're absolutely wrong. Believe it or not, heroin.
We all missed.
Heroin, huh?
Yeah, everybody
See,
does heroin.
That makes sense.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like heroin, you get in the accident, you fall asleep, not continue to stay aggressive, but I don't know.
No, that area is just kind of known for
is
opiate, heroin abuse.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they got everything in Connecticut. Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
You're right, Miles. They have everything in Connecticut, including illicit street drugs you might want to buy.
Yep.
You're right, though. Connecticut's a funny little state. Super rich people, and then there's not so rich parts.
Yeah.
I will leave it at that. Speaking of actual rich areas, San Francisco obviously is one of the most affluent cities in the world.
Sure.
Certain sections of San Francisco obviously cost more than others, but the house from Full House. Now listen, it's the one you see in the beginning credits. Just
right.
1 second.
Not the actual one that you see on the inside.
Yeah, not that. That's
Same
the
as the Brady
soundstage.
Bunch.
Right.
I think that's pretty well standard fare.
It is, except I think the Brady, that one, at least I think kind of looks the same.
Just try to emulate, here's the inside, we'll try to emulate it on the soundstage.
Right. They just took a shot from that famous park. And I forget the name of that park.
Man, as soon as you brought it up, you know the name, you know where it's at. And
It's not Golden Gate Park, is it?
No, it's a different one.
It's a real notorious area because of the houses, almost specifically.
Correct. Yeah. People go there, hang out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Miles almost like Gasworks.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
So I had a buddy that lived in San Fran for a few years, and he was that was what they did in the summertime. You went over there, you hung out. There was always, people having a drink, eating mushrooms, whatever. So that's what they did. Well, the Full House, the outside, or the actual house, though, that's on sale for $6.5 million.
I'm gonna be honest, that's cheaper than I thought it would have been.
You're not wrong. I was gonna say it was scooped up for $4 million in 2016 by the creator of Full House, then sold in 2020 for $5.35 million.
All right, yeah, I would have thought it'd be more. One, it's just San Francisco. Two, it's an iconic house.
It is, and they say, you guys might know more about this than I do. They say it has a striking customs chef's kitchen.
Oh, you definitely should have updated your kitchen by this point in time. If you're in San Francisco and you want to.
But what makes it a chef's kitchen?
Chef's kitchen is just professional
Grain
range
stuff.
maybe like 2 ovens. As far as just the stuff in there is top level stuff.
Right. The quality of the equipment that you of your appliances is top level, and it's probably has a massive island where not only can you serve your guests, but also do your prep, all that kind of stuff.
All right, I was going to say that to me is always the sign of a really nice kitchen in a home. If you have an island and you can cook on the island, it's like, all right, this is fancy.
Hey man, we have an island we can cook on.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've been in your kitchen
because we redid the house. Now the thing is, that would not have been my preference place to do it, but when it came to the cost of moving everything over to relocate the stove, I'm like, we're going to keep it on the island.
I think it's a good thing. I mean,
it actually is. It works out well.
Yeah, and for somebody that loves watching, I like to cook. I like watching other people cook. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's the best of both worlds. I don't feel like I'm as annoying you as much.
Because you're sitting there. You're sitting across. You can still watch everything. And
it's like a chef
setup. I'm facing you as I cook. So you're not over my shoulder saying, Thrill, why do you have so much mustard? At least you can look me in the eye and say, man, you have a lot of mustard.
Ted, you got to go to LeCoin in Fremont.
What's LeCoin?
It is a French place, but they do all kinds of stuff. But you can sit at the bar there and watch all the meals being prepped right in front of you. Everything's cooked right in front of you. Every person in the restaurant, it's all right in front of you.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. They don't have a television in there, and you don't care.
Right.
You don't even miss the game. You're just watching those guys. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah. I have some friends. They have a big island in their kitchen, but the stove and everything is still not on the island.
Okay.
But they have a couple bar stools, and right. I mean, that's just, I try to get there as early as I can and set up there.
Because that's where everyone, if you have an island with bar stools, that is where everyone shows up.
And some people, when they like cooking, like my buddy Jesse, he'll walk you through what he's doing.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, this is great. as opposed to just being like American cheese. I wouldn't do that.
In your lasagna.
Did you guys watch any of Wheel of Fortune last week?
I did not. I saw the highlights of, the goodbye message that he did before. Did not see any of the actual show.
No.
Well, your old boss, he's out. Last Friday was his last episode. Obviously, Vanna White, a little emotional about it. I mean, they've been doing that show for
40 years or something?
30 years, I think. Or 40. They worked together for 41 years, 8,000 episodes. I still think it's kind of funny. I remember, and it was only I guess it only lasted a few years, but I remember when I was a kid, like there was Wheel of Fortune on during the day too.
Yeah, they did day and night.
Right, because if I was sick, it was at my grandma's. I remember she loved game shows, and that was the thing. She would be watching that during the day, and then again in the evening as well.
Ted, if I had a job where I did not have to work for 2 weeks, and then every 2 weeks they said that I needed to work on Saturday and tape all day Saturday, and then tape on Sunday, and then I would have another 2 weeks off. If I had that job, and I didn't have that job anymore, I would cry. I don't care what the job is. I don't care if it's digging ditches. Whatever it is, based on what they made, they worked 2 days out of 2 weeks. I'd cry as well. I'd be like, God almighty.
And got paid millions.
That was the greatest job ever. I worked 4 days a month.
Yeah, that is a pretty good gig.
That's why Ryan Seacrest takes it. He's a busy guy. He's on the air Monday through Friday. He's been doing that for 20-some years as well. The guy works his ass off. American Idol, everything else. That's the cushiest gig he'll ever have.
Wheel of Fortune?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
That's a guarantee. I'll take that job.
Yeah, and it's nice to knock out all those episodes. I mean, look, I think a lot of people do that now, right? I mean, we work downtown, so we've seen it enough. We're talking about like the Amazon people and stuff. Like, they're required to go into the office 3 days a week. Now, obviously, they're still working at home.
Yeah.
But like me and Throwers, it's just so crowded Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday in the city. But also, if I worked there and I had to come into the office 3 days a week, it would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would take a 4 day week.
The rules.
4 day, and not. I know people working from home are still working, but I'm just saying the idea of even a pseudo 4 day weekend and be like, I would do that every week.
The rules are pretty simple. You bring 5 days worth of clothes. You're there for 2 days. Maybe you get past the first round. You put on another pair of clothes. There's no way. I'm from returning champion from Kansas City, Missouri. Let's go up for Debbie, whatever. Debbie's in a hotel room. They just keep taping. She didn't fly back to Kansas City and fly back for the next game.
I mean, I think that's part of the reason some firemen like the fireman shift, right? What do you work, 24 hours, then you're off for 2 or 3 days?
Is that how they break it down?
I think that's how it used to be. I'm not sure anymore, but generally it seems like you work like a 24-hour shift, and then you got like 2 or 3 days break. And then I'm sure some firemen probably work 12-hour shifts or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, my cousin, old cousin Josh, he works for the Baltimore City Fire Department, and he says it like this: it's like having a cigarette when you could smoke indoors at a restaurant. So one of his jobs is he's one of the main cooks at the firehouse. All right, he will mac this thing up because he's got a barbecue pit, he's got all this stuff. He's like, man, without question, as soon as it's time for everything to be pulled off and everything to be ready to be served, he's like, that bell goes off, that alarm goes off.
Right.
Everybody's out the door, and I'm scrambling trying to put foil on stuff. I don't know when they're coming back. He's like, I've been working on this for 3 hours, man. It's the quietest day in the world. And then there's another call after that, and then another call, and then another call. And then I roll into 1 a.m. He's like, I had dinner ready at 5. Now this crap's cold.
So he is the wife of the fire department.
He's also, but there's like 2 or 3 of those guys. There's one guy that does breakfasts. Like, they all have their own kind of duties when they're in the firehouse.
Yeah, and I think they could split it up, but generally there's going to be a couple dudes that like cooking.
Yeah, and you want them to cook because they know what they're doing.
Oh, I told you, my cousin, her husband's a fireman out in Provincetown in Cape Cod, so we're getting a tour of the firehouse. I'm like taking pictures with the jaws of life. We're having a blast.
Of course.
And then, I'll call Kate. He's just like, put those down. And I'm like, what? He's like, we got to go. And I was like, oh, all right. All right. Venture over. Sorry. Let's see. Adam Levine's returning to The Voice. He'll be a coach on season 27 next spring, along with Kelsey Ballerini, John Legend, and Michael Bublé.
Because people are dying to get that guy back.
Well, he did it right, which is like in deal controversy, but everyone's distracted by stuff all the time. So wait it out, come back. No one's going to even remember.
What was the controversy with Adam Levine?
Oh, you remember him sending all the texts to that chick while he's married to somebody else.
Oh.
And like anything, everyone piles on him. And it's like, look, man, if you got to deal with some crap in the 21st century, just wait a minute. And he did. You'll come back, no one's going to remember because they're mad at somebody else now.
Correct.
You'll notice call Diddy like, hey, man, thanks for stepping up, bro. Thank cool.
Yeah. I have personal knowledge of some news stories that were about to break, but like the institution wanted to get the story out there before it broke.
Yeah.
But same thing, like you wait till a Friday afternoon.
Right. Put it out late.
Over the weekend, you hope people forget. You'll see it all the time. You'll see it with politicians.
Oh, they'll put a 9 p.m. statement on a Friday, but at least they can say, hey, we told you it's not our fault that you're out doing what everyone in America does on a Friday night at 9 p.m.
Have you guys watched any of the WNBA lately?
I have not.
WNBA, no.
All right. What would you say has been the biggest news story of the WNBA?
Caitlin Clark, yeah.
Correct. So listen, I fathom the WNBA, right? It's a good league, right? Seattle's got a bunch of championships, this and that. And I get the national team for the Olympics, right? She was still in college. There's no college players on the team. She's a pro now, Clark. She wasn't there when they had, they kind of were forming the team back in February and stuff. But also it's like, look, man, I don't know who's making these decisions, but if you want more eyes on your sport, put her on the damn team.
Oh, absolutely.
And look, she struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season because she's a rookie in a dominant, in a I'd almost say like a bigger woman's dominant league. Like somehow over the years, we just, it's like looking back on an ex. After enough time, sometimes you look back and you're like, well, that was fun. You forget the day in, day out annoyances and stuff that was really a problem. And we do that with athletes too. Like Michael Jordan used to get bounced from the playoffs in the first or second round. He would get manhandled, right? The Pistons would beat him up and stuff. So, like, Caitlin Clark's going through a little bit of tough time. She's still dropping buckets. I think she just set a record for a rookie. But, like, I don't care if she wasn't at camp in February. Like, you're the United States, right? It's a women's national team. It's the Summer Olympics. It's one of the bigger stages in the world. You want to promote your league. I think you want to promote women's basketball overall. Put her on the damn team.
Yeah, no kidding, right? If they're bringing visibility to a league that's bitching that it gets no visibility, like, solve your problem.
Right, I know
Here it is.
Well, one thing has nothing to do with the other, but they also do. It's the popularity of the sport, like you're saying. So it's not the WNBA has anything to do with the Olympic team, but
if you want people
they're
in
still
the US,
championing women's basketball. So it's like that in some MLS questions, and I always go, what are they doing?
God, yeah, MLS.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I to me, that seems crazy. And, like, at first, I was kind of on the side of, like, well, the other girl's been in the league, this and that. And then, people are like, well, who are you going to take off the team? It's like, look, first of all, our women's team is dope. Like, I feel pretty confident they're going to win that gold medal either way. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Take somebody else off the team and put her in there. There's been more talk about women's basketball in the last year and a half with her playing. I can't think of the girl from Baltimore that was down at LSU.
I know what you're talking about.
Reese. Like, all these players, right? They're getting a lot more attention and everything. And it's just like, look, if you're the WNBA, I mean, I would walk to the Olympic Committee and just be like, because there's got to be crossover, right? All the girls play in the WNBA, right? They're still going overseas. Like, I would just walk up to that office and be like, what are we doing? Or, the WNBA takes a break during Olympic years, right? I don't know. Go old school, right? I mean, Miles, you've seen it before. If a player got in trouble, right? Something personal, right? You don't want to tell anybody. So what do you tell that guy? Hey, work on your limp, right? You're out for 2 weeks. Right. Same thing. I don't know. I would hate to do it to my girl Kelsey Plum, but like, Plum, work on your limp. We're putting Clark. We need a guard to sit down.
If there's a medical situation or something, do you really think they're going to bring her in? If somebody has to drop out based on the fact that they twist her ankle severely, or
I'm willing to bet you money that she will be on this team because I think they're seeing the backlash, and it's like, listen, there's a lot of this conversation that goes on with Clark, right? I think there's you talk about fan bases liking her for one reason or another, but the bottom line is, she's the biggest name in the WNBA right now, right? You got people that never watch the sport talking about her. It's like, put her on the team. Somebody, and it's not that odd for somebody to drop out. Now, the problem is you've also kind of stacked the deck against her a little bit, as now people are going to be like, she only made the team if somebody dropped out. Also, listen, I get the other players in the league. I can be jealous sometimes. I can be petty. And you're right. They've been in the league hanging, banging, like making the league what it is. But it's like, yeah, you're probably jealous how much attention she's getting, but she's the leading scorer in the NCAA history.
That's going to follow them.
Right.
Those kinds of things follow you.
Right.
Excellence follows you.
Right. She's a big deal. I just think, man, I don't, you know what I mean? And it's a team. This isn't like an individual swimming event where we're trotting out Michael Phelps, who's in his 50s now, who he's not, but
also, what did you know about Michael Phelps for real before that? Now, we're from Baltimore, so we knew about him because he's from Baltimore. So we heard about him. But outside of there, here's a guy that showed up for what we essentially look at as an Olympic sport, swimming. Same with what's-her-face in gymnastics, right? The chick who does it all.
Simone Biles.
Yeah, Simone Biles, right? Excellent. But it's not like when she's done with this, she joins the Olympic team that we can then follow, 3 days a week when they compete. So cut her a little frickin' slack.
Yeah. Remember, Magic Johnson wasn't in the NBA because he had been diagnosed with HIV, and we weren't sure back then, so he took a couple years off. He still made the Olympic team.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Because he's Magic Johnson, and everybody knows his name. All right. I'm very excited to go home. I had a fun, busy weekend. But, Miles, I didn't watch any sports, and it's killing your boy. I'm going to run home tonight. I'm going to watch some Stanley Cup finals. Florida, from what I saw, their goaltender just had a hell of a game. He can't be that good again, so look for Edmonton maybe to get a win.
Now that Ted has said that, he will be that good again.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Picture this. It's blazing hot outside and you need to get to work. You get into your car and turn on the AC to get cold air pumping as soon as possible. But it doesn't work. Instead, blowing hot air out of your vents and directly into your face. No, your car doesn't hate you. This issue is commonly caused by low refrigerant due to leaks in the air conditioning system. And there's an easy, all-in-one solution that will restore the cold air in no time. There's no need to go to the shop and pay lots of money when you can save time and money recharging yourself with AC Pro Recharge Kits. AC Pro Recharge Kits make restoring cold air easy for even those with zero DIY experience. And the AC Pro app offers clear, vehicle-specific instructions to help you get the job done in less than 10 minutes. So pick up an AC Pro Recharge Kit at any store selling auto products and confidently restore your car's cold air yourself today. Be a pro with AC Pro.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Odyssey.
Customers at Fred Meyer, part of the Kroger family, will see lower prices and more choices across the Pacific Northwest by Kroger and Albertsons coming together. We know having more access to the fresh, affordable food you love is important. That's why we're dedicating $500 million to bring prices down so you can stretch your budget even further. Visit KrogerAlbertsons.com to learn more about all we're doing to continue to lower prices. That's KrogerAlbertsons.com.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go to Texas, where Optimus Prime is arrested after stealing a car. Meanwhile, a doctor named Muhammad Ali saves a shark bite victim, then wants to spar. Montana couple builds a new home for only $20,000 cash. A bull at a rodeo in Oregon definitely makes a mad dash. And a server is shocked to find a man's date for dinner was a blow-up doll. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. We're going to Texas for another celebrity quote-unquote arrest. Police on patrol managed to spot a car driving down the road that had previously been reported as stolen. The officer of the car pulled pulled over for officers without incident, but why he needed the car in the first place is a bit of a mystery. He was arrested for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and is being held at the county jail on bond. And that is the story of how officers arrested, you guessed it, Optimus Prime.
Wouldn't it have been cooler if he was his own car?
Right?
I did not steal this car. I am the car. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Catch me now, coppers.
Wait, he was a truck, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
semi.
Well, maybe he's going through a midlife crisis and wanted to be just like a sports car.
Right.
Like, cut him some slack, dude. You know what I mean? Obviously, Bumblebee. Bumblebee's so cute. I'm like, Bumblebee is 65 years old. That's why he's a cool vehicle.
Damn right.
Oh, do you think truck drivers ever drive sports cars?
I would think every once in a while, if it's your job, absolutely. You probably love driving a truck. I get it if that's what you choose to do. But I think when you can cut out and get a thing where it actually brakes when you apply the brake, it accelerates when
it doesn't weigh thousands of pounds.
It's just such a different, fun kind of. You only get it for a couple of days, and you're back to work.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then they can cut off trucks and act like they don't know, how to handle the road.
You think they do? They start cutting off their buddies.
Yeah, why not? It's me, dude. I'm pulling right in front of you.
Can they tell their friends' trucks as they're driving, like, oh, that's Joey's truck?
I would think there's a few where you would know. If you know the route and you got to know at least their rig, you're like, okay, that's Ted. I'm cutting his ass off.
Especially if they own, like, the rig.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I would scream at Ted, Robin is racing.
For a while on Instagram, I was following a truck driver who would just make little meals in his truck.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not going to start a new career as a truck driver. What do I care?
But if I do, I know how to make these delicious meals.
Yeah.
In other news, let's head to Raleigh, North Carolina for a nightmare situation. An Airbnb host is dealing with legal issues thanks to a couple of long-term renters. They'd booked a long-term rental of her property that started back in October and lasted until mid-May, which, side note, I didn't know that you could do that. After the reservation had expired, the cleaning staff went in to reset the home for the next long-term renter, only to find that the couple were still inside, expressing no intention of leaving. Staff returned with officers, and the renter said that they'd be leaving the next day, but when the cleaning crew arrived yet again, they found no trespassing signs posted on the home by the couple, who demanded that the owner follow proper eviction procedures before they would leave the house. The single mother has reached out to Airbnb for help, but to no real avail. She's scheduled to appear in court to get the process of evicting them started.
That's kind of a scam.
Yeah, I think if you don't have a law that immediately deals with this.
Yeah, that should be taken care of pretty efficiently. I mean,
it's like someone breaking into my home and the cops say, well, it's not the cops in this case, but basically the city or the state saying, wow, how long have they been in your home? They've been there for 20 minutes. Have they stolen anything? No, they're in my kitchen making food, but they weren't invited. Give us some time to deal with it.
Right. You launch into an agreement that you're doing this temporarily. This isn't a apartment situation, an actual true living situation, other than the fact that I suppose it is because it's a long term, just because it's not a year.
Do you actually sign a contract when you do the Airbnbs and all that? I would assume that you do.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, but
you sign a contract when you check into a hotel.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, done and done.
Still in North Carolina, a server in Charlotte is out of a job after she couldn't resist posting to TikTok while at work. The video, which has since gone viral, started with her describing her situation of working at a restaurant in Charlotte, informing the audience that they have to see one of the customers sitting at the table. The view changes as she zooms in on a table featuring a man scanning the menu from across his date, a blow-up doll.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's great. She tells the media that she knew that she would be getting fired after the video was posted, but said that she couldn't resist. She also was like, I was about to quit anyway, so I just didn't even care.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm fine with that one. Dude brought a blow-up doll as his date to eat dinner.
And, of course, you're going to post the picture.
He lost his fantasy football league. He said it was perfectly fine. She just wanted...
Is that what it was?
She just wanted an excuse to get out.
That was his humiliation.
Yeah, okay. They were
like
his friends were putting him on him, and then everybody piled on online. He retweeted it or whatever. He sent out the picture that she sent out.
He didn't care. He's like, look, I lost. This was my punishment. And they did it because it is, in fact, funny. We did it because you expected people would take pictures and put my ass on the internet.
Yeah. I thought I would just do it so I could order 2 entrees.
That too. She will have.
Right. Just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Down in Florida, a couple of teenagers suffered a shark attack at probably the most convenient time. The pair were waist deep in the water while enjoying a day at the beach when both of them were attacked by a shark in the area. One of the two only suffered minor foot injuries, but the other suffered an injury to her hand and a nasty one to her upper leg. Fortunately for her, a pair of doctors were on vacation at the beach at the time of the attack, as well as a few EMTs and nurses, neither of which knew each other. They all rushed onto the scene and went right on to work, patching her back up. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive.
One of them was Muhammad Ali, and I believe his quote to the media was, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I rescued a young girl from the tragic sea.
I heard your jokes.
He couldn't help himself.
But you pay so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Pacific Northwest. Our buddy Don found it at Twisted Lime Island Pub over there in Mill Creek. My friend Pierce found it at Cedar Steak and Brew down there in my own city of Enumclaw. We got Chris, who found it at Willow's Lodge and Barking Frog up there in Woodinville. And of course, if you don't know
classy.
yeah. If you don't know where you can find it, you can find a comprehensive list of locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. Men's Room Sports, the UFL Championship has been set after a pair of hard-fought games over the weekend. The Birmingham Stallions of the USFL will take on the San Antonio Brahmas of the XFL next Sunday, the 16th. Worth noting, the Stallions have only lost one game all season long. Steve, who was it against?
The Brahmas.
Correct. We will see if history can be beaten or if it'll repeat itself on Sunday. The Celtics continue to take it to the Mavericks in the NBA Finals, winning yesterday's game to put them ahead 2-0 in the series. Next game is going to take place on Wednesday. Your Seattle Seawolves came out big this weekend at home against Utah with a winning score of 68-29.
Damn.
Crushed them. The next game is going to be against Houston, and that'll be on Saturday. Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight. Florida got the early lead in the series over the weekend, but the Oilers will look to even the score tonight. That game currently underway over on ABC. Your Seattle Mariners, good God, managed to keep the sweep at bay, taking the Royals all the way to the 10th inning before they squeaked out a win yesterday, but losing the series 2-1. They owned the game on Friday 8-0 in the second.
Yeah.
And they lost it.
Yeah.
I
As
love
my
you,
father-in-law
boys.
will
What
tell
are we
you,
doing?
don't leave.
They'll take up arms here at home as our own VDs, Chicago White Sox, come to town for a 4-game series. That game will be over on Root starting at 6:40 with Logan Gilbert on the mound. Love you, buddy. As far as your weather, we're going to see a lot of what we saw last night into today. Things are going to cool down to the mid-50s, mostly clear skies, just a little bit of cloud moving in to cool things down. That takes us into tomorrow, where we can expect mostly sunny skies and a high of about 67. That is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Best of the wife there. We'll see you next time for Sit and Spin. Kevin Deers is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Gatorade. Studied, tested, proven. With over 50 years in the making, it's scientifically researched and game-tested to help replace the electrolytes you lose in sweat. Buy 2 Gatorade 28-ounce bottles for $5 at 7-Eleven today.